taking steps to the top. The flames, I whip it up, you just gotta hand me the rock. Take a seat, you cannot stand it. All I know, the flow harder than a Scotch bunny. Don't try studying me, you cannot manage. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.
Yeah, you better listen. I'm bringing heat. You'll be a fan when I start rapping. Way I'll have your fucking head spinning. I'm known as spit vicious. Release bombs and go tick tick. Boom, you blown me that head missing. I'm a phenomenon. Stacking cheese like it's Parmesan. 8 different flows, call me Octomom. I'm moving fast like the Autobahn. And I'm independent, so I'm not your fucking starving like it's Ramadan. Sick, twisted, gifted. Can't copy, printed. Can't hold me down. I shape shift, I'm liquid. I killed this beat. I might get convicted. They know how I move. It was predicted. Persistent. Spoke it into existence, so consistent, no assistance. Hear me once, become addicted. If I rap it, then I live it. There's no cap, and I'll be speaking this.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.
GG. Oh, hell no.
What's up, chat? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? How are we feeling? Hopefully everyone's feeling good. Everyone's feeling nice. I know I am. That Friday feeling. But alrighty, let's get right into it. Boom. We're doing a watch party today. We're gonna watch some MRI. I know I'm a little late to the first game. It was a banger, by the way. But you know, 6:30 is usually our start time, and it's 6:15, and we're live. You know what I'm saying? We're transmitting. And anyway, let's get right into it. Do some MRI today. Hopefully FlyQuest versus Sentinels. Hopefully it's a banger of a game. Let's turn the music off and let's turn on the feed. Let me turn on the light for the camera.
More as they like to do the preseason, and this being the exact same.
Make it a little bit more scenic in here.
I would say forming in well there was that Hulk player for we lost a little bit of venom, but now getting a bit more of that flexibility into what Techie has been evolving quite literally.
Looking over here because this is where my
I mean, this guy's just pretty much the god-hit scanning. Really, in my opinion, does a lot of the carrying for the team.
Right, and like a Techie coming in from like X-Sentinels too, Velocity from X-NRG Shock. Like, it's just the fact that this is also a team that could utilize Avery too as a sub if you wanted to come in with Techie. But it's going to be interesting to see some pretty interesting unorthodox compositions, Cozy.
Oh my goodness, we've got to take a look. If you have not gotten the chance to watch the Sentinels versus 100 Thieves matchup, that will pretty much tell you exactly what you need to know about this team and what we continue to see from them.
See, I hate how
my biggest takeaways,
they
other
do
than,
this.
You know, being amazing on Iron Man.
Where they take out.
I love that. You know,
obviously, they don't have the picture for him, but still.
Has just continued to
come on, guys.
As just such a dependable playmaker. That's what
a
you
little
need.
dignity.
You need the playmakers here at Ignite, and he's proven to be one.
Yeah, he's top 5 in the final hits as well when it comes to players in Americas. Like, he's just one of those duelists who is you can always rely on to get the damage done and also find that final hit, which is very important. When you look at the success of any of these teams in Americas, one of those players is always at the top of those leaderboards, and Yusha is that guy for Sentinels. But of course, what they've built around him as well, just an incredible team to watch.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, this is a team that can play the meta as well. They do like their unconventional stuff, and if you looked at the matchup and how kind of Iron Man
just make it a little bit brighter
against it, and man, some of those calls, I mean, Shib hitting on the Adam Reborn again, and Punisher coming out of the wall. I mean, insanity. You can take a look here. It has obviously been going Sentinel's way for a while, and you know, this is quite literally the gatekeepers of Group B. They control a lot of the destiny of what is that 4 spot. And remember, because once you get into playoffs, we continue to see this, Vicky. You just got to get there. And if you can quite literally make it to mid-season in a blink of an eye.
It's just so crazy too. Like, once that ability where you don't have control over how a lot of these other matches play out, it gets so scary. And Sentinels kind of being those gatekeepers means that this is going to be even more important for FlyQuest, who showed signs of life just last week versus Energy Shock. They took it in a clean 2-0 fashion. Now we got to look back at that series and make sure that we can try to reciprocate against Sentinels, who also have just been getting better and better as this play has gone on, this group stage has gone on.
No, that's a good point. And really, I mean, if you look at what their game plan is, Sentinels have been leaning a bit more, Gaskin, into banning duelists. Okay, so they've been trying to shut down some of the key cogs of the machine that make a team work. And that's what I want to see more as we get later into this thing. Not the safe stuff that you've drawn up on paper. And Sentinels are continuing to do that more. You know, dare I say it, Rymazing not playing as much strategist has been fun to watch and I think is really healthy for the team. But also targeting the players like Tuzi that you're going to have to do if you want to win against Fly.
I think it's important that these teams are learning to do something a little bit different. Otherwise, you do become predictable, you can be studied, and you can be countered very easily. So I've got to tip my hat to Sentinels because they've been able to find ways to do something that's slightly off meta at times, and it catches people off guard. And in a best of 3, if you can catch people off guard, you might just be able to take the W. So I'm impressed with Sentinels. I think that it's going to be a really interesting series here, and we start off with Hell's Heaven again.
Yeah, and if there's one thing that Sentinels are pretty good at, it's going to be domination. They have just done a great job outside of Swamp Gaming, and even there is a bit closer than you would have, liked to see the numbers show. They really have a firm lock on how to play domination and get comfortable from there. And best of 3, that gives you so much momentum going in. So expect a lot of that to set the tone. Hell's Heaven, as we continue to say, is such a great map to kick off what is this matchup. And be looking for that Yusher versus the Tuzi matchup that I'm kind of curious in myself. And then Melio plays, I feel like we've gotten different types of Melio throughout the preseason and into now. Have to see the best of it, Vicky, as we go into the big ban.
Yeah, right, because is FlyQuest also going to rely on, like, the triple strategist? We know that Melio has rolled out on the Ultra. Ooh, the immediate protect save, though, on the Phoenix very early on for the pick and ban phase for FlyQuest, but also nothing to be surprised about with the double Gambit getting banned. Sentinels taking their notes are going to be able to ban out that Rocket. Once you see that Phoenix protect, you don't want to get a combo very similarly like you could get with the Galactic Legend.
The mirror, see, that's okay. I forgot. Their banning phase is different.
They did their homework. They knew Sentinel was going to attack the duelist side of things, and now with that, you have to punch them on the
both teams can't play
With that
Gambit.
being said, what is the biggest weakness they don't
FlyQuest
have
can
the
play
ban
Phoenix.
Here, probably the Dino ban, and then
Rocket bans FlyQuest.
Yeah, I would imagine Dino
playing
ban comes out here. It's just you can't really
FlyQuest
give up
makes
a Dino ban possibility. It would be strange to do so. That being said, teams are starting to work out how to play without that Dino. We just saw it from Swamp Gaming, right? It's very easy to do so, but there we go. I think Sentinels are too smart to allow that one to pass. You can't allow FlyQuest to give such a heavy protect onto a duelist there and then not punish them with the Devil Dino ban. And then we are seeing FlyQuest go back to the strategist, as you were mentioning, just try and remove some of those. But this week, we're seeing a lot more focus on likes of Black Cat and Star-Lord.
Save for the Sentinels.
I like the Black Cat save, Vicky, because when you take a look at that,
Mantis
right?
and Captain America bans.
And Yusher, you're going to lose a lot of that backline, but I almost guarantee this is going to have Rymazing in more of that duelist role.
Yeah, I do. We did see some signs of Rymazing Black Cat, and we've also had some time to work out some of the things that we've needed to fix up for our Black Cat. And then this also means that the Star-Lord is available. So Sentinels maybe slotting in Yusher on that role as they protect the Luna Snow very last. The Captain America ban is also pretty funny here from FlyQuest, showcasing that respect over to Sentinels. Obviously, Crimzo and Dogman having no issue. Dogman being on that Dino before, as well as Crimzo not only flexing over to that cap that is not available here, but to the Venom as well.
Yeah, for sure. And the Mantis there at the end, again, is just to shut down probably the triple strategist if they do want to lean on that. I would say I'm not crazy about the Captain America save here because of how good Crimzo's been picking up the Dino. He's been kind of more in that pilot seat for that role. But yes, obviously they do have the option if they need to go that way. If Dino's open, sometimes we have the flex over to the tank pool, even though, it's kind of gone out of meta somewhat. But either way, that's kind of how it's shaping out to be, and it's a lot of what we thought, Gaskin. It's going to be trying to keep the duelists hot and, the playmakers ready to make the biggest plays that they can possibly make here in Week 3, Day 1 of FlyQuest Sentinels.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one here, Vicky. There's a lot on the line for both these teams, really. Sen can guarantee their way through playoffs. I mean, likelihood is they would probably be there anyway, but this would 100% without a doubt sort it. For FlyQuest, they don't want to have to go into that game against Nightmare knowing that it's a must-win. If they were to find a victory here today, it puts them in such a more comfortable position going into the last day. Alas, both teams now have to focus on the task at hand. We are going to get a one-sided
Let's get it, chat. Let's get it. Here we go.
Show us how it's done this time, and how when you have that Dino on your side, you can really bully the opposition.
Already starting off, the theme of the day, everybody, is controlling your own destiny, and Tuzi controlling the point already with a high ground position off this portal play before swapping off the Doctor Strange, making sure everybody is saxied up before going over to the Elsa. I like this. You're going to be playing a lot more poke from afar after you get the positional advantage up on the high ground, trying to negate that of Sentinels, who now are forced to go over to the right side. As already Cozy mentioned, Crimzo being on that Devil Dino, Dongmin also on the Emma, and now you have Techie trying to match that too, but with the grab and the clapback, it's going to be amazing overall to the White Fox to give Flamay that team up with the Luna.
This is why it was so important for Sen to ban that Mantis, because if FlyQuest are going to be playing a bit more of poke going into a Devil Dino with that Mantis, it would be very difficult to deal with. Alas, there is not going to be a Mantis for FlyQuest, so instead they're going to have to try and make it work with the Elsa plus the Phoenix, which is still plenty of damage, but at the moment, they are going to have to try and force back Sen, and they have done that. They've got control of this first point, and if we learned anything from that first series, Vicky, gaining control of this first point here, being able to be somewhat aggressive into your opposition's spawn, makes it very difficult for them to break through.
It's kind of like the topic of domination and why it's so detrimental in a best of 3 where you really only have that tone. Damn, he got put in the microwave. All right, but he gets healed back up, and if anything, it acts as a battery. As
he got put in the microwave.
Amazing. Off the White Fox, going over to the Daredevil instead, and it's to deal also
weird
with Melio and Tusi, who Melio already has that end song Inferno to try to deal a lot of that extra pressure.
Look how tight FlyQuest are playing as a unit. I mean, something like a Jeff could delete all of them if they had a Jeff available, but now Rymazing getting up, down and dirty and in the face, but not able to take down Melio. And again, that tightness just eliminates the chance to get those picks on the back line, and FlyQuest have the advantage, and the invisible boundary gets forced out.
This is so much damage. The invisible boundary out to at least try to keep him alive, but now the green light for Yusha to go in for the Galactic Legend finds Zelos. That is 3 off the table from FlyQuest, and no running as Melio is the next to get wiped out. But when you call in that early invisible boundary here, it just allows Sentinels to move up together as Oasis and Yusha were able to go side by side and claim the point.
Yeah, they threw everything at them there, Sentinels, didn't they? FlyQuest, they probably thought they had the advantage in the fight. They got that initial pick, but Sen were like, look, we've got these ults to use. Let's make sure we just use them in tandem, and we should be able to delete FlyQuest, and they did successfully. And now they're going to try and do the same thing. Pin FlyQuest back here. Don't allow them to get through. And because FlyQuest were on so much poke, they've switched over to their own Daredevil, and Melio has been able to get the pick onto Rymazing. Great switch up for FlyQuest.
I love this here too. Already calling out that Rymazing being on the Daredevil could be a problem here for this backline, and Melio now clapping back is going to be able to find 2 more, taking advantage over the number advantage and finding 4 in total, make it 5. It is a wipeout here as FlyQuest dominate in another team fight, already nearing 80% on the point.
That's wild.
So impressive from FlyQuest. The switch over just straight away. No ego, no wanting to stay on the same hero. Moving over immediately to try and combat what Sen were able to break through with. And now at 90%, FlyQuest just need to hold one more defensive battle here, and Sentinels will have to look towards round 2.
And they have the Kumio Unleashed that they actually use up very early because you're near 99%. You want to prevent them from contesting on the point. Rymazing at least forces it into overtime right on par. He can let up the Devil here, and Flamay is going to put them in position. You have Psionic Seduction from Techie, but Yusha still allows to mark down Melio. Now you have that match up from Dog.
Who's the Luna healer? I mean, maybe she was going back.
Cart into their line of sight. Still up in numbers, so as Sentinel get to regroup, Rymazing still holding on to letting the Devil out, and just trying to split more attention as a Rampage lets loose from Crimzo.
He's really trying to save
his eyes on. Devil out is available, but you are going to see Dance Off now.
Nice.
Popped by FlyQuest just to try and sustain here. Not much overtime to work with on the side of Sen, so Rymazing says, look, the time is now.
Wait, he does it now.
The Devil out. It is Yusha, though, who gets one. Crimzo's gone down on the other side as well.
He got frozen and almost melted. He was waiting for the Fate of Both Worlds to end to then let the Devil out. And now we're having the 1v1 as Yusha had a lot more health to mark down Melio. But it's going to be another shutdown as Tusi takes a different off angle. And you have Cart trying to make space.
Lartrox is going to be there for Tusi as well. And the FlyQuest, they very quickly re-engage. And now they have the extra player on the map too. Here is Glartrox. They steal away the Dino, and the Dino is going to be absolutely peppered as Crimzo taken down. So is Dongman. Flamay is the next to fall. And Sen, they need a portal, but I'm not sure they're going to have the time. They're going to try and sustain here and delay, but FlyQuest have bullied them off the point. Crimzo switches over. Can you get the touch?
A buffet for the Glartrox and even more space for free here for FlyQuest. It's going to proc here in the portal. They try to look at the pixel there, and you let the Devil out though from Melio. They're going to expend this ultimate, now hold it for the next round.
Oh, chat. Dude, this has been the longest overtime.
lose Melio, and Sentinels are holding on at the moment, but they cannot afford to step off of this point. And they also take down Yusha, so the duelists have been eliminated, but Rymazing back in the face of things does take
Holy
down
smokes,
Car,
chat.
and
This is
FlyQuest
crazy.
Possibly gonna have to give this one up. You can see they're starting to back off a little bit as Sen starts
This is like
to
her
move up,
second
but
or
they're
third
also
ult.
dropping like flies. Very difficult fight to try and win out here for Sen.
The fact that they also had Techie over on the Vanpool to get the Manhammer, Crimzo gets off, he flies too high up. And this first round goes in favor for FlyQuest. Sentinels, they threw everything in the kitchen sink, Dan. But even FlyQuest
Threw
were
everything in
forced
the
to
kitchen
expend
sink!
that Luna ult so the way they could secure it.
I love it.
Well, FlyQuest again.
Oh,
just
I
trying
love
to
it.
change the tide here in this group and
In the
make
kitchen
everyone
sink.
second guess themselves a little bit. It was very difficult to try and guess who was going to be able to take the win in this one for me in this series. We coined it the series of the day, and I think for good reason. We're going to see a lot of back and forth between these two teams. It was a very interesting pick and ban phase, but once more, we get to see how difficult it can be to be the solo Dino, but also if you know how to play against it,
Oh
you
my
can really
lord.
punish. I mean, the Glartrox in that initial fight was massive, by the way. Being able to isolate a Dino, it's so easy to burn down a Dino when you're able to remove them away from those strategists. The hitbox is so easy, they get absolutely deleted, and FlyQuest will find themselves a round up here in map 1.
Yeah, basically, the Glartrox has enough food to last them till next year, just off that Dino alone. It's insane here. It'd been pretty hard to not hit that too with how big Devil Dino is, but it's also clearing so much space. And look at the fight right here over to the high ground of the platform. We see no time is going to be FlyQuest here. The group wall's now in front of 2C's face as Crimzo makes the adjustment. Currently just trying to rally up everybody. It's going to be Zelos popping in the Kumio Unleash. And 2C has that Glartrox again. Dogman could go on a rampage, but he could get stuffed out. As Cart fights Flamay first, the sustain won't be the same here, as Sentinels really only has to rely on the invis from Oasis. Now the rampage comes in, Crimzo's literally one shot. He doesn't have the Strangling Prison, and he's the next to fall, as FlyQuest have the number advantage.
Is this how deep?
It's just so difficult. Captain America, so oppressive, and the
I just
fact that
don't
you're able to
play
remove that
DPS
strategist
like
that
this.
quickly, it means
So
FlyQuest
watching
will be the
DPS
first to get the
players
point again
go
here
crazy
in
like
round two.
this,
So
I'm just
Sen
like, I don't
have
even
to
know
try
what's
and
going
answer
on
back.
the
They do have
screen.
ults available. The Ensong Inferno from Rymazing perhaps can be used in conjunction with a little bit of damage to eliminate the back line of FlyQuest. But with
You know what I'm saying,
Glartrox
chat?
available, Techie also has ult up as well. FlyQuest have answers.
And Cart is so flexible too. Strangling Prison now brings him in. Ooh, big pick onto Tuzi. Now you won't have the Glartrox, at least in this fight. Ensong Inferno from Rymazing after he made the swap over the Phoenix. Unfortunately, doesn't land. It's Mark here as Techie is able to mark down Rymazing. That's a back-to-back, by the way, that we've been seeing Techie mark Rymazing. Get to see the focus here, the Manhammer as well. They get the grab and the chomp as Sentinels now are trying to force their way through the choke.
Okay.
Look at the amount of time that is being scored on the point by FlyQuest by just taking that fight to Sentinels near to their spawn in their own half. Finally, Sen are able to get a touch, but is it going to be enough? Because 2Z is now back in the game. The Glartrox came out, they were able to get 2, but Sen do answer back. It's an absolute brawl on the point at the moment, but who's going to be able to convert is the real question. Everyone trying to dance around to survive. Yusha finally is able to get one onto 2Z, and it looks like Sen have just been able to win this one out, and FlyQuest have to reset.
I saw that cheeky angle to see that Glartrox, by the way,
Cheeky,
coming out of the
cheeky
left
angles.
side. The strategist from the side of Sentinels. I saw Rymazing make that quick swap up over to the Ultron. So Sentinels maybe relying on what they feel is very comfortable, but it didn't really reap them that success that we've seen in the earlier stages of our group stages. And 2C has just been on fire.
Dang.
Now
Bop,
Melio and
bop,
Velocity
bop,
have these ults
bop,
to
bop.
work with here, Dan.
Bub up.
Yeah, Melio not popping it just yet, though. Waiting for the right time. Also seeing what is really going to be on the side of Sentinels. Are there any ults pop? Can you actually isolate one of these players? But it's just a little bit of damage, which will allow Invisible Boundary now to be popped here from Oasis.
Well, a little early here, but they did find Velocity, so that was actually really on point. Rymazing then finding 2 to follow up. They're nearing already 45%, and now they
Come
have
on,
the
Fly.
momentum swinging on their side. It did expend the Invisible Boundary, but they will have Flamay with the Fate of Both Worlds for survivability, as Melio could let the Devil out, but Zelos and Velocity could stagger these strategists' ults.
Rymazing just seems to be comfortable when he's in the air. Doesn't matter if it's Iron Man, whether it's going to be an Ultron. Getting the job done as FlyQuest are now forced back and Sen starting to score and will be closing in on taking the lead here on this point. But again, still eyes on Melio. Are you able to get behind that back line and utilize Let the Devil out here to try and do some damage?
Kind of forcing it out, though, after finding Usher. He's going to try to do the Beyblade spin to win, and now the survivability to allow Melio to stay
the
up.
Beyblade spin to win.
And Flamme with the fate of both.
She's probably never even watched any of the Beyblades.
Stagger on this point, too. He's stalling now as he's going to go berserk, and now the Explanation coming in from the Ultra Pro by Mason. They lost on Usher, though, and that's very big. He had the Galactic Legend ready to go, and 2C's still holding on to the
just went in the corner and just sat.
Nice reset, as you say, but 2C's now going to be just backing up and dealing a bit of extra damage.
Like,
as well.
this is the...
They're trying to convert more, but alongside Cart, they are going to make 2, make it 4 actually in the end. Sen will back off.
Some of this stuff just amazes me. I'm like, dude, I could be in this and probably be doing better, but
of course, taking this
people could say that.
As we move into the second. So Sentinels, though,
it's a lot easier to say it
Legend
than
to
do
work
it.
in this next, and FlyQuest are all out of ult.
That's what I was a little worried about, right? Because that was a very expensive fight for FlyQuest. Even Melio making the change up over to the Psylocke, now having the 1v1 duel before getting some help together with Cart. But it's Crimzo making the swap over to the Angela, noting that they have to contest on this point. It's going to be incredibly close between both of these teams. Someone's going to take it to round number 3. You talked about the Galactic Legend, but it gets stunned. It gets stopped. Overtime taken away. That was massive here. Have to look back on that. If Velocity was able to get that freeze now, then you have the Beyblade here together from Usher, right? Amazing getting shut down afterwards. But that was a win con that Sentinels wanted to rely on.
Yeah, boy, did they need it, and now without it, they are dropping. They are at just 3 people still alive. Someone has to try and sustain and hold, and maybe hope that Rymaze can get a touch, but it's not going to happen, as FlyQuest will take the first map here against Sentinels.
Let's go Fly, let's go Fly.
Oh my goodness.
What we like to see, Fly.
They figured things out. They came out of the gates with some different compositions for that second week, but
That's what we like to see, Fly. That's what we like to see.
It could have been a charm, but that was insane to see a shutdown and also ult tracking on the side of FlyQuest. That was crazy here, and a great performance to open up our best of 3 for our second series of the day. It's only going to get better. Everybody strap in. We'll find out where our map number 2 is going to take us after this break.
Just like, what am I watching? What are we looking at here? That guitar be shredding. It's like they start the promo video before they switch the scene. Like, there's no benefits other than just having a shirt. There's no cool animations. I think all the Deadpool skins are trash, and he could be very easily one of the best skin line that they make. It's fucking Deadpool. He doesn't care. Put him in any costume. Is it showcasing every single one? Nothing's different about them, guys. The back of his blades are different colors, and oh, they finally show plate. The guy playing. Skin line. These skins are not at Marvel. This should have been an easy, like, just give us the skin for 500 blue. That's how it should have been. But instead, we don't, like, I don't want a nameplate. I don't want, just give me the skin. If I want the nameplate, charge me the extra 50. They do like overprice. They overprice their stuff, in my opinion. The nameplate shouldn't be $5. I think this skin's cool. Samurai Iron Man. What if? I do wish it was a little bit cooler.
Hurry up. Bombs away. Maximum.
Like there should be. Like they could have added like a little bit something different. I don't know. Yeah, that's why we're here, guys. We play.
You made me angry. We are undefeatable.
Chat, we seeing this? Like, what's going on? I had to skin, and I bet you money. It's a $33 combo. I haven't been on Marvel yet today. I've been clipping. I've been doing stuff in the background for the channel. I've made a YouTube video today. Posted it. Posted 2 clips, posted them everywhere. Went outside, mowed the lawn. Had to get that done. Had to be done. But like,
lead your allies
no
with
way.
grace, but spare no mercy for those who cross you. How fitting with Iron Man and Sentinels and amazing right now. You guys can get these amazing skins in game with the Iron Samurai and Mantis's new skin available June 5th, so just about right now. Go grab them. You Iron Man and Mantis mains, again, available now. The call for glory calls. And gotta say, with that map result, we can take a look at how it finished. And what I just want to highlight is we've continued to talk about the players on this team and the new additions that FlyQuest has made. Can we just give some love to the Vanguards? You have Techie, who's going against his former team that did not re-sign, right, and is now on a new team. And then you have Cart. Cart just made a play that we wanted to dissect. We've got to see now a couple of angles off of in the green room of a Hulk exile that was, sometimes
Green
it's a
room.
flashy
They act
play,
like they're all in
but
agreement.
sometimes
Guys,
it's just as
we're all at
simple as-
home.
and not simple. A mid-jump exile, Vicky, to stop the Star-Lord ult there from you.
These guys actually dress nice. The other set of
Dude, and
casters
they called it
do
out
not.
perfectly. Like the
Do
fact
not.
that Cart was, we were talking about
dress
it, right?
like
We
they
had
just
Mr.
rolled
off
out of
the
bed.
camera right there. We were looking at the fact that the Star-Lord had ult. Just to hear that he got stopped in the middle of it, saw the reset to 52% on the ultimate charge, and it was Cart that gets the jump exile. I'm like, was there a freeze, a charm? There were so many opportunities there that they all had to start looking at the Galactic Legend. Guess who was ready? Front row seats, Cart. He was the bouncer that bounced them off the point and helped the rest of his team secure that dub for that first map.
And how fitting, right? Because Cart's been playing everything but Hulk, and now going in at the last minute to get such a clutch play like that, Gaskin. And we talked about it. If FlyQuest wins this entire group all of a sudden gets mega giga complicated, right? And all of a sudden, Sentinels that looked so comfy, cozy, you might say, are looking like they could be the ones that facing up an elimination match.
Yeah, I mean, suddenly there's a potential for a three-way tie. There's a potential that we just see FlyQuest win out, go through, and then it becomes NRG versus Sen on the last day. Winner goes through, loser goes home. But that's if we get there, right? There is still a lot to play.
That's crazy.
Here, but what we've learned is definitely Cart.
Let's go fly. Let's go fly.
The further we've got through this season, when he was first added, there was, is he going to be as comfortable because he's not able to play Hulk as much? He looked brilliant so far today, and I'm very excited to see what he can do going into this next one.
Well, I think we've got the replay to check out.
Chat, I'm hungry.
I've played the Hulk. The amount of
I'm
skill
hungry, chat.
game, it was so much on the line, and the call-outs. You have to try to be sneaky here as Yusha if you want to get this off, and they just track this thing
See
through
what
the
sounds-
ult tracking.
what looks
Look
good
at this beauty.
over here.
I mean,
Because we still got a whole other game after this.
disgusting. Absolutely
least-
crazy
so at least
top
3
level
rounds.
play. And
And then
Vicky,
there's
it's,
gonna be like a
again, it's
5-minute
not
break.
just hitting a shot like
Oh,
that.
we'll
It's
have
not
time.
easy. It's actually
We'll
a very
have
small
time.
margin of error there. But also tracking that ult charge and then being aware of where the Star-Lord is on top of that, right?
Yeah, that's actually crazy. Like,
good,
it
though.
looks like Cart was just playing a different game. You saw him just playing Ring Around the Rosie, like he was jumping on a trampoline all around Hell's Heaven. And the MVP being Tusi is also another thing to highlight here, too, because if it wasn't on the Elsa, it was a swap up to the Phoenix that also helped enable FlyQuest to take that first round, especially.
Yeah, what do we say, Gaskin, going in? I said it's going to be the duelists, honestly, that are going to be able to help this team, and the anchors of it is Tusi. I mean, Tusi plays such an important role for FlyQuest, and you brought in these new additions.
I don't
combined
get
with
that.
they
What?
already have. You
Like-
can see as the stat screen right here highlights. Sentinels have been great.
Place
in
my
domination,
family went
and
today, and it's
FlyQuest, I mean,
Chinese,
they made
and
that, I don't
I
want to say made it
absolutely
look like
love-
light work,
I
but they
loved
were pretty
Chinese. Best
dominant.
thing I could.
And Dino struggling.
American
again,
Chinese
like,
is the
just not
best
able to
thing that
find
has
that
ever
victory
created.
at the moment. It's
I've
anti-Dino
said
teams
it.
are winning out, and it was the way FlyQuest adjusted. They were playing a very poke-heavy comp to begin with, and then
But
as
I
soon
don't
as the
want
break happened, they
my
realized they were going to
Chinese
struggle to
place
get out of spawn with said
again
poke.
twice
So they
in a
switched
row,
Melio
'cause I
over
had
to a
it
little bit of dive. It works
yesterday.
out perfectly. They get the break of their own, and then it was constantly being able to switch back and forth. Melio was on 3 or 4 different heroes in the end, and just was a pleasure to watch FlyQuest find that success. Sentinels, they came very close,
Dons
and
could
they
just be
certainly
it.
were also
Nice,
trying to
quick,
adapt
easy
and make changes
choice.
here or there, but FlyQuest have just looked better and better
Eat real
each week.
quick.
In some ways, Sentinels remind me of Yeah, We Lost, because
not
you
difficult.
gotta get what you get
Eat.
from them. And what I mean by that, right? You're gonna get the Iron Mans, you're gonna get the pennies, like things just are gonna be a little crazy, and it's gonna get you some crazy wins, right? You're gonna win against 100 Thieves in a matchup that people maybe thought was gonna go
that's
their
what we're
way.
gonna do,
But then
chat.
also, you'll have these bands that maybe wouldn't work against other teams, and I think kind of lend themselves to more favor in the hero pool selection. So many great players, Vicky, but to me, it just feels like the pig ban.
Yeah, let's
What, we
do
had a
that.
Black Hat save? I didn't see a
We'll
Black Hat
do-
once, right? It's just,
Not
I don't know if
once.
that was bait. It was bit on.
Yeah, and then rolling out with White Fox, right? Like, that was interesting. And then you have to consider, like, if you're going to have to expend a save like that, it's pretty expensive in the pick and ban phase. I'm predicting that we're probably going to move on to Museum of Contemplation, as we're going to find out. Oh, wow, surprise, surprise. All right, because obviously Sentinels, in their last previous series that they've played on in the last 2 weeks, have been relying on Museum of Contemplation to turn things around when they have lost out in that first game.
Yeah, this part of the stream is brought to you by, once again, Museum of Contemplation. Go visit it today.
MOC.
I mean, it's crazy that
The number
usually
one
this is
played
their map, but
freaking
you know what?
map.
after we saw
Museum.
Iron Man,
Dude, it's
Tony
always
Stark
it's
in the
always.
sky, I mean,
What's
so
the
much on
first
line
map?
right now. If I was
We
Seth,
don't
I'd be
know.
picking this team. Where else
They
they
could
going,
pick
right?
any.
Again, if you missed it, this
But
is
then,
where we saw a
but
really
then
interesting
here
comp
comes
of Punisher
Museum in
and
the second
Iron
round
Man. I've
pick
gone up
pool.
against this comp. It's tough, Gaskin, because there's so much firepower.
And we're just
both
like,
high and low.
hey guys,
Yeah, it's
let's
actually
not
very
switch it up
impressive
any
and horrible to
day
play against, and I wouldn't be surprised if something similar is brought
of
out. That
the
being said,
challenge.
FlyQuest, if they've done their
Instead,
homework, maybe they are going to prepare for it.
let's
Not
just-
necessarily
let's
through
just
picks
make
and bans, but
Museum
also just being ready to adapt
every
in that moment the switches of their
single
heroes in general, as we get the usual Gambit bans to start us off, and then Sen going to protect that Rocket Raccoon, which you never know might lead us toward that comp that you were speaking of.
Oh man, remember guys, if Fly wins this, they go against, I believe, Nightmare last, right? So it's like they're sitting pretty. All right, so we'll put it that way without disrespecting.
Yeah, I bet you the
anybody.
Marvel
But yeah,
team
take
is
a look
really
here,
loving
and
it.
Going into it, we've got the first save going over to the Raccoon. Once again,
Hey guys, we made
FlyQuest-
other
That's a tough
maps.
matchup, right? FlyQuest getting Tuesday's pick, also being able to have
Hey guys.
in song that can shut down the Coon.
We kind of want a 3-3
Yeah, it's actually crazy too, because then you shut down the rocket from the other
overtime
side, so you don't want to
for
get
the second
damage
game,
boost on
'cause,
top
you
of it
know,
all.
it
The
could be-
double mantis
could be
ban, I'm
fun
not
to
surprised to see that
watch.
too. You don't want to have that one-sided mantis, although we did
Nope.
have that available in our previous
Nope.
series and it wasn't utilized there, but it
No,
wasn't really
nope.
needed too, because something to highlight is how great of a map this is for
like, what are we
Loki, and that's
doing?
something else that Sentinels could keep in mind here, because obviously FlyQuest have no issue with velocity
what
flexing over
are
from
we
the Luna to the Loki
doing?
if they need, depending on what side they're starting on, seeing that they are on the defense.
Yeah, and we continue to see this too, Gaskin, where it's like you want to look at the Luna and the Invis. We continue to bring this up, and some teams prefer to have more of that utility with the Invis, or some just want to have that extra firepower. And with Dino out of the equation, at least for the end of Sentinels, I mean, what way do they go here for the last save?
Honestly, it's tough because they've got a few avenues they could head towards. There's a few heroes that they've definitely been leaning towards and more comfortable. You could go for something like a White Fox to save if you're worried about that backline dive as well. But Emma Frost, after the ban, I guess makes sense because then it's a one-sided Emma Frost, and we have seen how well Emma Frost goes into a Dino. That being said, FlyQuest, they get rid of the Captain America, which again, I think is an important one.
Honestly, that's the perfect one to hit, right? Because now you get the uncomfortability. You don't have Dino, and at this point, you're going to have Emma for Dongman, and you thought Crimson was going to go over to Cap. So now you just have a bit of this awkwardness of what way they want to go. They saw the keys to success, Vic, with 100 Thieves versus them in that matchup. And it looks like they did their homework, protecting the duelists and shutting down the Vanguard line.
Yeah, actually, also being able to note that they're splitting
Just
up those
notice
bands
this guy's
between the
using
vanguards and that
beats.
back line too, right? You're trying to force out more of these compositions, but flexibility is the name of the game when it comes to the level of competition that we're looking at here in group stages, Cozy. That's why only 4 of our teams make it through into the playoffs, but FlyQuest now are currently sitting at match points, and all is on the line, determining on if Sentinels get to keep that cushion right underneath them, or is it going to start shaking up this group?
We're casting with beats.
Yeah, this is going to be a
Brother.
very interesting and nerve-wracking game for probably both teams, but in particular, Sentinels here, they were probably coming into this one feeling relatively confident after their performances previously,
These
being able to
quicks-
put
I
them in
think-
this
what is this,
position
quick
where a
steal or
win
whatever?
here would have really
I
sent
don't
them
even
through
know.
to
Quick
playoffs,
steal,
and
these
now
are
suddenly
nice.
they're scratching their heads a little bit, saying, "Oh wait,
But
are
no
we just
one
giving
knows, and
FlyQuest
people think
a ticket
they're nice
back into this group
headphones.
completely?" We'll have to
These
see.
are gaming
Museum of
headphones,
Contemplation, it's been
but instead
very
we're-
comfortable for
we're
Sentinels
throwing
before.
beats into the mix.
Amazing, he briefly hovered onto Iron Man, but it is a quick switch over to that White Fox, which I was expecting during that pick and ban phase as well. They've been able to get away with it without the lock, and now we'll have to see whether they can make sure that they stop really the plan of FlyQuest on the other side.
This is crazy too. The fact that we're still seeing the Penny right now, I mean, this is who we're expecting it from, right?
God.
Dogman
Oh my
has
gosh,
done
man,
this with
stop.
the Penny before. You sure taking a huge chunk of that damage, already getting cheeky with it, hiding the mines right underneath the nest of the webs, and you're currently having Crimson trying to control a lot more of this space on that group.
Nice damage as well, just to be able to force back a couple of these guys so that you can actually continue to push as well. But now you are going to see the first ult comes through. The ban hammer is going to be there from the side of FlyQuest just to try and target some of this back line. But Sen are just going to back off, wait for it to dissipate, and then they'll move in and re-engage.
Kind of why it procced out the Emma ban too, right? Because if you're going to be focusing on Crimso's Vanguard lineup, then you got to get rid of that Emma who can get that free charge on these group walls. Susie, though, taking it off Ango has the ends on
shit.
Inferno.
Boom!
To get
Big
the
ol'.
follow-up after we're seeing the dive from Cart being on the Captain America. Beautiful first pick here, too, to find Oasis. Flamade doesn't
Oh
see it,
my
but everybody's
God.
getting stunned as Susie is farming.
He's just loving this Phoenix at the moment. It's so difficult to play against a good Phoenix that is
Tuzi
constantly
is
slamming your head like
just-
that. Just so much damage output, and again, it just creates a lot of room for everyone
Making
else
it
to
not
play
look-
the way they want to play.
Making
to
it
be
not
honest.
look good.
And now Sen, they're gonna have to reassess how they want to engage here on this one. You can see at the moment the Vanguard's really struggling
Making it
to
not
even get
look
around
good,
the
I'll
corner
tell you
because the
that.
amount of damage that's arriving from the other side.
Now those walls are getting melted. 99 fire making right
There we
here,
go.
at least for Tuzi, and trying to show off that skill cape. It's
Dude.
gonna now be Melio from the sky.
Why do
That's
we
hard.
pick this
Once again,
map?
harassing this backline, now finding
This
Yusha.
map
No
just
protection
sucks.
here for this backline to really rely on anything.
Hot
It's
take,
Techie
chat.
from
I
Flame
don't
after he
care.
uses the
This
Sia.
this map sucks.
That bubble's been important from Techie as well, just protecting some of these duelists, not being able to be focused, but there's the Strangling Prison, it does come out.
we get
and they are
anywhere
all gonna be
past
there
the
for
first-
picking, but the ults will
the
come out on the
first
defensive
checkpoint
side from
on this.
FlyQuest just to keep everyone alive.
We're mentioning Melio too being on this ult on the
Boom,
verticality that this map
nothing.
has, and you come slamming down on top of the wall. Amazing trying to keep them alive
Nothing
here
out of
too
that
with the
one.
Kumi Unleashed to help elaborate from Yusha's damage output, but it was matched that from FlyQuest's side too. Now you have the Psionic Seduction from the other side to try to find where this annoying cap has been. Dogman looking behind him, but Cart is bouncing around now in a different form on the trampoline. It may not be the Hulk, but it's over here on the Captain America.
Sonic Seduction didn't really pay off, to be honest. Banhammer now comes out. Can you actually
Okay,
isolate
Deadpool.
alongside the bubble as well to take down one of these back
Can he
lines?
do
Well, it doesn't matter
something?
because Tusi has been able to go off and take down Crimzo and Oasis here.
Yeah.
Sure, there's the BRB for one, but the damage is already
Tuzi
done here
is-
onto Sentinels.
This is insane here to see
don't
the
think
amount
Tuzi's
of
died
damage output
once,
that
chat.
FlyQuest is putting in onto Sentinel's
And he
map pick,
has
by the
ult,
way,
like,
as
for
they're
the
the
second
ones
or
holding
third
out on the
time.
attack. Look at these changes, because something needs to be changed here, and it's going to be Amazing over to the Black Cat. This time, they didn't have to protect it. It's not like they used it in the one game
Black
that they
Cat.
did protect it, but we know that Black Cat is great on this map. Get some information, get invisible. Crimzo now rolling out too on the Venom.
Yeah, we need to see something special here from Amazing, because otherwise Sentinels are going to get held before the first point here from FlyQuest at the moment. And really just going to be one of these situations where you need someone to go off and show what you can do and demonstrate that little bit of something else.
Now time is of the essence, though. He's talking about a little bit of anything. I mean, with 20 seconds left on the clock, now this cart is
This
just literally
map
going around the corner.
stinks.
Sentinels right now struggling on
Boo
this attack.
museum,
And TC and
boo
Melio have
museum,
their
take
ultimates
it out
in
of the
their pocket, velocity
rotation.
to its
Boo
ability, and
museum.
now go down, delete the Sia with the Endsong Inferno. The BRB may bring back Yusha, and now Melio comes in with the extermination.
Yeah, but the trouble is when the amplifier was down, Yusha wanted to be able to deal that damage. Maybe the BRB just gives them the chance, and actually with Cart going down on the cap, that's going to be the opener for Sen. But look at the rest
is
of the
another
squad
character I need to
working
get some
together
of these
and
now. I don't
isolating
know how to-
everyone they can. Sen now having to pop the Galactic Legend just to stay alive.
Now you at least have the Feast of the Abyss here, but Crimzo is falling low. Yusha Amazing then follow up from the calling card, and they clear the numbers. They force
Uh-oh,
Dumpin to
chat.
go in for a portal play. Is it going to be necessary? They want to put more bodies on the point because now FlyQuest retaliate with Cart making the swap up, getting the portal play, forcing two of the members of Sentinel to back away.
Yeah, they back away, but it is going to be Portal versus Portal, as you had mentioned, and we're going to get an all right down and dirty brawl on the bus. Like your time in high school is now FlyQuest. Can they actually utilize what Velocity has here? Because the dance-off could really just allow them to sustain nothing on the side of Sentinels in terms of ultimates yet.
Oh, these portal plates are actually insane. The placement too, just to block out some line of sight here from one side of the cart. But you have to look right now at Amazing. Velocity holding on to the fate of both worlds. It's gonna have the dance out, the damage boost on top of it as Tusi is gonna get enabled. Nobody looking at Techie, who by the way has been farming in FlyQuest. They wipe the point from Sentinels. They can't even get to that first checkpoint.
I mean, insane hold from FlyQuest, really. You have to tip your hat, because that was just such an impressive way of constantly answering back. And even with the break at the end, just the quick assessment of, right, we need to get the portal, which I know is default at this point, but being able to actually get through it
I'm gonna
and
say it
still
again,
hold,
chat.
even though Sen had that
I'm about
control.
to say it again.
Suddenly, Sentinels now are very
no.
close to losing this one unless
Take
they can
museum
demonstrate an
out
even
of
better
the
hold on the defensive
pool.
side here. So, what are they going to
No
cook up?
one
What have they got?
enjoys
Is the morale
watching
even there at this point?
museum
Because FlyQuest
gameplay.
now are going to be feeling so confident going into
We
it.
want
Dude, yeah,
3-on-3
Donovan roll out on the penny,
action.
make a swap up once they got around that first choke over
1
to the
minute.
Ram pool, and then
Overtime
I mean,
fighting.
it's tough. It's tough out here. Sentinels are struggling to breathe
Just
air
saying.
around FlyQuest, and there's just been so much damage
You did
output
it- you-
that
yeah.
2C has
You-
been
you
putting
did your
into.
marvel.
Together with that and the Phoenix, then enabling Cart and Techie too. But also the flexibility that Cart has been able to shine as the weeks have progressed. Gaskin has been on another level. Literally,
Come
each
on.
member of FlyQuest have only gone down once.
This is tough, really, when you're on the side of Sen. because you know how to do it. We've seen it demonstrated before, but now it's going to be a lot on this Penny.
I don't
and
even
a lot
like
on Dongmin here to
on
actually
Museum
demonstrate
either.
how difficult Penny can be to
Not
deal
even a
with when
Museum
played correctly. For FlyQuest, that has to be the aim. Eliminate that spider nest immediately, and perhaps it will be enough to take control.
Now as FlyQuest roll up, Melio sticking over to
Even
the
when I
Phoenix
win,
and
I hate
Techie to retaliate and creating this space here with these Groot walls. It's Penny over on the other side. Once again, Dogman gonna be sticking onto this side of things after trying to take a flanking angle from right behind FlyQuest when they were originally rolling out on the attack. Right, Amazing now taking to the skies too. On top of this Ultron and Techie taking a huge chip on that damage. We're seeing that 1v1 and Melio gets marked immediately afterwards by Crimzo.
Good work to begin with. And this is what you've got to do. You've got to be aggressive whilst being defensive at the same time on the side of Sen. As FlyQuest, they're trying to bully their way through at the moment, but they are going to have to be sent back. One goes back to the respawn screen, so they have to reassess how they're trying to shut this one down. And again, a lot of eyes on these spider nests.
May have not gotten the finals that we had seen from Melio when he was on the Daredevil originally, but on the Phoenix, absolutely. You talk about all that onslaught of damage overall. Clearing the side of this corner, though, and needing some help. It's going to be Melio together with the Invis of Zelos. They've lost out on Cart, though. That's going to be a big pick. Oasis now going to be able to help out everybody and just getting that pick, and Velocity's going to move the rest of FlyQuest up with the Fate of Volcoroth. A nice freeze onto Techie, strangling Prison right around the corner. Now you get the Endsong Inferno from the other side as Dogman finds 2C, and it's going to be Yusher just with a quick reset, though. Isn't going to be able to find their mark, but it's just isolating Melio as a threat.
Melio goes down. FlyQuest again are unable to really break out here. So Sen holding strong at the moment, and our ults to work with as well. Dongmin obviously has his, but also Ryan Amazing with the Rage of Ultron there and waiting to try and apply that extra little bit of damage and pressure on the side of Sen.
To Phoenix.
And maybe there's going to be a couple of switch outs from the side of FlyQuest in the moment, just to try and find someone who can break out here.
Right. I think that's
Extermination now, just trying to mark down Techie after he was already won. It forces out the invisible boundary here. Backing away now as Melio also has the Endsong Inferno once again, and Dogman gets frozen after utilizing the Penny ult. Strangling Princeton now to follow up the Wombo combo. Tuesday gets a chunk out of Amazing, and Melio had already used up that Endsong Inferno here too. Now you have the Sia, combine that together with the Psionic Vortex, and now you have Crimzo finding Melio. I like this combination in this damage output, and Sentinels hold the defense once again at the choke.
Yeah, this is brilliant from Sentinels. This is exactly what they needed, and time now starting to tick away for FlyQuest, but all it needs really is one break, and then suddenly Sen will be on the ropes once more and have to go for desperation plays, and most likely will need a portal to get right back into it quickly before Fly take that point. There are a couple of ults, but Cart does get taken out, absolutely deleted, and Melio falls as well. So Fly, they're trying different heroes here, trying different ways to take down all of these Sentinel players, but sadly, they have not been able to find the right recipe.
We're talking about the Emma Band 2 that Sentinels put onto FlyQuest, and this is a very similar situation where Techie being on the Groot is just charging up Crimzo's beam for free. Constantly being at 100 is just on another level, especially if you cannot find the threat that is Crimzo. At least coming into this here, Cart now comes in with the Face of the Abyss. It does mark 2 onto Oasis, and Crimzo does not force out the strategy ultimate from Oasis. Great patience and a great stun onto 2C from Dog.
Great chat.
Well, they are finally gaining control of this car, and they are finally beginning to push, but now here comes the defensive ultimates from
Here we
Sentinels
go.
as well. Sonic Seduction plus the dance-off will happen in tandem, but it's going to be a counter
Get
dance-off.
Museum
But we will
off
see
of
Yusha
my
able to
screen
get the opener as
every
well. Techie goes down.
MRI
and now they're the
game.
extra player in this engagement, and Sentinels might just be able to win this one out, and FlyQuest have to go again.
Hold on now, hold. Maybe seeing a map number 3 on the horizon. You're down less than 17 seconds on the clock. And
Yeah, we're gonna
really
see
only
a
has
map
this
number
invisible
3
boundary to work off of as
because
well as Strangling Prison
whoever
from Techie.
attacks first on
10
Museum
seconds.
always wins.
Got to push now. Is anyone going to switch over to a Doctor Strange here? I don't even know if you've got
Always
time. So someone's got to actually force it, and it's not going to be there. Sentinels, oh, finally you get the jump on Cart.
As long
Huge jump
as
on the
you
Venom,
get
but
it
now
past
you've got to show what you
this
can do in this
pinch
fight.
right
Invisible Boundary
here,
comes out from FlyQuest. It's a last-ditch attempt to stay alive.
you win.
Sen will also pop the Rage of Ultron. Dongmin also starting to
Oh,
drop
no
mines
way.
everywhere.
No way! And the mines catch Velocity. Huge first big Velocity now swapping over to the Loki. Just trying to get the God of Mischief even faster. But is it too little, too late? We get the trade-off from both ends. Melio and Right Amazing finding Techie and Flamme. Yusha though up in numbers after finding Zelos. No sustain left. No time
Wait a
left.
minute.
As FlyQuest, they get
Look
halted.
at that.
Even the Velocity being right there on the Loki. There is
Just
nothing
take
FlyQuest
Museum
could
off
do.
the
Sentinels,
map.
they
That's
hold
all-
them
that's
back
all you
right
gotta do.
before that
That's
first
all you gotta
checkpoint,
do,
and they got
Marvel.
even more progress,
You do that,
allowing this
everyone's
to go
happy.
on to map number
Your
3.
MRI scene gets
Holy
big.
Sentinels.
Your
What did we
MRI
just
scene
see
takes
on their
off.
defensive side? I mean,
Penny.
People are happy to
I
watch
know we've
it.
seen it on Museum of Contemplation before, right? We've
But
seen
games
these kind of
like
holds.
this
We've seen
will
how
make
difficult it can
people
be
not-
to play against Penny, but you would have thought FlyQuest would have been able to find a way to get through, but alas, they could not. And Sentinels, they send us to a map 3 here, Vicky.
Hold on, I'm rubbing my eyes real quick. It's almost like the Sentinels that we saw day 1, week 2, when they faced off against 100 Thieves in
Day
a very
1,
similar
week 2.
situation
No,
on
it's
Museum
just
of Contemplation.
Museum.
Except that kind of went the
Whoever-
distance.
I
Dan,
keep repeating
what a
it.
crazy second map here as
I just gotta
Sentinels that'll
stop
tie up
repeating
the
it,
series. We'll
because-
find out what our map number 3 is looking like on the other side of this break.
I can't, chat. I can't. Chat. I can't deal with it no more. Museum, I just can't deal with it no more. Museum just ain't it. It just ain't it, Marvel, and you know it. You know it. That's why you put it in the game. To make it quick. Want to farm all the ads? I get it. I'm a businessman. I get it. Wait. We have a roundabout to get to my street. Oh no, did he just make a U-turn in the middle of the street? So we have a U-turn to get to my street. He went straight. How? And he did just
Hey
take
guys,
a
my name
complete
is Ryan
U-turn.
Central, and welcome back to What's the Meta. We're more than halfway through the group stages of Stage 1 across the Ignite globe at this point, and the meta footprint that Devil Dinosaurs left us has settled somewhat, so according to the data, what are the teams discovering? We have to talk about what stayed the same, and the top 2 kings of the meta are still exactly the same. Gambit is pretty much the priority when it comes to a first ban. We don't get to see him. I think we've spoken about him enough, we all know why. And Devil Dinosaur is still number 2. Teams are protecting Devil Dinosaur because everybody else is. The stats sort of line up that if you have Devil Dinosaur and the other team does not, you have a pretty decent win rate. So they're protecting Dino because when one team gets him, that team usually wins because he's so easy to incorporate into a composition. He's very good at shutting down some of the more brittle duelists that want to be a little bit more divey. And so he's just a great character to sort of put in the middle of the map and honestly just build around. With the damage that he deals, the damage that he blocks, and just the way that he's able to stall and fight on objectives, yeah, Devil Dinosaur is pretty good and one of your mainstay vanguards for the time being. That's all standard. We could see that in the games that we saw last week, but what has actually changed? When it comes to big winners, there's none more so than Rocket Raccoon. He didn't just become more popular, teams discovered just how to win with him with how he plays. Obviously, he's been buffed over the last couple of seasons, is looking really good. The likes of Be Right Back as just an ability are very useful in these long drawn out team fights where it gets hard to eliminate anybody because you've got the likes of Devil Dinosaur. Get a pick on Devil Dinosaur, or Be Right Back instantly brings him back into the fray. Yeah, it's going to be frustrating. The team up with Star-Lord is obviously very good because Star-Lord got buffed, and the fact that Rocket is very good with his survivability. The fact that a Daredevil or a Black Cat can jump on him, try to eliminate him, and he's able to sneak out goes to show a lot of what the strategists can do.
That's
make sure
true.
that they don't get picked off when it's important. Resource generation, the Yarn Amplifier as an ultimate for just damage boost for everybody is a key thing to win out some of these long drawn out fights where there's so much sustain. And Rocket can put out a good amount of damage, but he can obviously put out a metric ton of healing too. So yeah, Rocket is one of the main winners when it comes to how much he has shot up the rankings when it comes to not only a protect priority, but also a ban
rankings.
priority
I like how
his win
he's
rate
saying
when one team gets him
rankings.
and the other one
This
doesn't
dude didn't
is
even know
pretty
the
high.
meta
One of the highest
last
that we've seen
week.
so far. Like almost 2/3 of the time high. So yeah, he's good. And because Rocket got stronger, one of the characters that benefits from him the most and is also a pretty good answer to him got stronger too. That being
Maybe
Phoenix,
quit being so
being
negative.
Gray.
These guys are
He's
great.
very good at destroying
These
the
guys
deployment
bring
with
us
their
this
ultimate.
entertainment.
He
I need to
benefits
stop.
from Rocket's resources. Damage boost into a solo Jean Grey when you're running triple strategist is a great way to actually find eliminations in high sustain. And he just synergizes really well with Phoenix as pretty much become
I'm
one of the
hangry.
major
That's what
options
it
for
is.
duelists
Food's here,
outside
too.
of Star-Lord.
Give me 2
Now
seconds.
that
Be right back.
Elsa's sort of fallen out of the fray.
Just keep my
And
headphones
because
on.
these two have shot up in popularity, some of the other options that were trying to contest them have fallen down a little bit in the choice order. And one of the major ones actually for losers is Black Cat. She remains a popular hero for teams, but we're not seeing teams nearly spend as much like capital guaranteeing access to her. Her protect cost, she was a common like, we want to protect this character so it doesn't get banned. We're going to try and one-side it if we can. That hasn't really worked. Like, the win rate is still pretty underwhelming, like under 50%. If a team gets Black Cat and the other team doesn't, they don't win the majority of the time because other stuff is banned out as an option. So Black Cat just isn't providing that much when it comes to the draft. It just seems that teams are still playing her, but they're like, there's no point protecting her because it just isn't that worth it. And also, we're not going to ban her because we want to get some of the other characters out that we've mentioned instead if we can. It just feels like Black Cat is fine, but she's not super strong that we need to get rid of her fine or protect her in this case. She's just not being treated as a hero that you must secure. But she's not the only one that's sort of dropped down. Like White Fox's popularity has gone down, Captain America's popularity has gone down, Luna even, who's quite high up in the rankings, has dropped a good chunk. As Ultron, who isn't seen half as much as before. Not because they're objectively worse characters, it's just because Rocket and Jean Grey are demanding a lot more attention from teams, and that sort of attention needs to come from somewhere. I am really curious to see what we see in like the last week of groups, considering at least for like EMEA in Americas, there's a month we're going to have Cyclops in the game when we get to Stage 1 playoffs. So the meta is going to change a lot, so I'm excited to see what this last week of action is going to give us before we go into Season 8.5. But I hope you found this interesting. Thanks for watching, and let's get back to the action.
Hello and welcome back from our absolute chaotic map number 2 between FlyQuest and Sentinels.
Chaotic.
That was the most Sentinels way to win a map. My God, this group is officially on Chaos Alert. I mean, if you just look at what the possibilities are from Sin looking like they're comfortably into the playoffs to FlyQuest now looking like they're about to win that. We've all been there, right? Where, you know, you have a great first hold. You can't possibly lose. And then you run into a Penny comp without Dino, Vicky.
All right,
what the hell did I just watch?
No Penny, no Bucky to retaliate. It was on the table. I was wondering Moon Knight to break through chokes. Nope, none of that. Actually, Penny just holding them back, as well as the Emma, who did get to go through for Sentinel. So now you get to see that from the other side, as Yusher is going to be your MVP. And that Phoenix also, as well as the adjustments from Yusher, were on fire. Also marking down the threat that was 2C from FlyQuest.
Yeah, Yusher has just been an absolute stud for this team. Not to mention they have vision on the bench, right? Like, they have so much play potential. And there's just, I mean, just when you count them out, I can't tell you how many times I've seen this group or Sentinels alone just continue to find a will and a way. And my gosh, I mean, they say Museum is their map, and it's looking like it. Gaskin, I mean, what do you make of map 3 here? I mean, what do you even change? What are we looking at after that chaos?
I mean, they need to find another map where they can use Penny defensively like that, to be honest, because it just gave them such room for victory. I know, sadly, they're not going to be picking the map here, so I think that's probably the flip side here. You've got to make sure you don't pick a map that Penny can be successful on here if you are FlyQuest. But I said it. I said about Sentinels, they have to get a better defense than we just saw, and they said bet. And honestly, hats off to them. Very impressive performance. It wasn't just the Penny either. It was everyone working around the Penny, protecting those spider nests to make sure they couldn't be removed, to make things difficult, but also just the web from the Penny as well, being able to stun some of those duelists just when you thought they were going to be able to get through and take down the nest. Very well played from entire team on Sentinels.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought we wouldn't have Thanos in this game before we had Penny being played as just like an anchor pick to secure the victory without even the double nest of old, like just crazy chaos. They continue to run to success as well. And without the Dinos, what I thought kind of stood out even more, because Dino Penny's crazy, but to get that to work for that 0.1 hold, I mean, teams are going to look at the way that they've been holding 0.1 in particular, Sentinels, and they've done a great job at that, especially on such a popular map that so many people just are looking for those slight bits of edges to give you that win. But yeah, FlyQuest now kind of can take it a little bit into their own control, a little bit of turbulence there, but now they get to pick the map, Vicky. But now it's a little bit mental. Like, you got to kind of reset after a loss like that, right? And with what's at stake, we'll get into more of the picture, because trust me, we're trying to work it out here. It's kind of nuts what happens if Fly loses and then you have like a 3-4-way tie. We'll get to there. But Vicky, for this map, how do you, get to that point for FlyQuest and, try to get the job done?
It's the fact that this is the first Game 3 situation for Sentinels, everybody, and also, like,
I got unmute real quick.
Let
me see that
it's kind of like that
their whole frame blurred.
The bread and butter where you get the Emma grab and, you get the follow-up with the pettiness.
That wasn't...
I don't know. There's so much to break down from that. I think for map number 3, considering that
wasn't
this
lag,
be the first
because the audio didn't
see
change.
Sentinels kind of pull out here. This isn't their map pick, right? So if you're FlyQuest here,
it's like this whole thing is a
picture.
picture.
Some of that verticality that
like
Sentinels
on a
likes to rely
camera.
on, if you could expect them to play
with
around
the over...
flyers
I don't know. I mean...
but also expect that left field comp from probably coming up, because that's kind of how you catch your opponent slipping as we are moving on to Heart of Heaven.
I thought, okay, so I was going to aim either here or Lower Manhattan. They've gone to both. Lower Manhattan is a little crazy, especially if you feel like you have better ult tracking and mechanics. Like, you probably don't go with that map. Heart of Heaven is the other map that FlyQuest, even going back to preseason Gaskin, have played well on, and it really leans to the way that this team comp and ultimately the hero pool is for Fly.
Yeah, definitely a advantage dive composition as well. If you can find someone who is comfortable marauding around the map and not worrying about the kind of fog that's going to be there, denying vision from other people, taking advantage of that as well, then you're going to be in a really good spot here. But that being said, Sentinels are also capable of doing that as well. So it's not like this is going to be a tap-in for FlyQuest, but we do get the instant protect onto Phoenix yet again. It's a very clear game plan here for FlyQuest.
Yeah, and this is an interesting map because you're going to see a lot of hero rotation. There's counter-picking involved, Vicky, obviously, but the way that point 1 is so different than a lot of the rest of the map. So I do like the front-to-back that FlyQuest is probably trying to achieve here. A lot of the same going from Sentinels. The Mantis Band right away, though, is just a shutdown. Honestly, a lot of what I would expect them to roll with, and Triple Strap may be off the table.
Yeah, also, like, I think this is the first time we hear Heart of Heaven. I just heard the music, and I was like, man, I haven't heard that one in a long time, especially since we haven't had as many Game 3 situations. The Luna off the table, too, as Sentinels trying to prioritize that. FlyQuest, though, indicating that Star-Lord is a problem as the Captain America saved comes through from Sentinels after they were expecting FlyQuest to go for the 3 back-to-back Captain America ban.
Who gives a damn about the T-Rex, man? It's like, I love it because all of the, earlier in the day, earlier in the week, in the stage 1, it's so much dino priority. Now it's like neither team are even paying attention to the way that it works. And Cap is such a big save, I think, here, Gaskin, for Sentinels. I like the pick.
Well, in the end, they remove Ultron, so neither team going to be banning away Dino, so that either means we get a Dino face-off or just no Dinos at all across the board, because both teams have been able to find a way to play so comfortably without the Dino here. I like removing Ultron, though, because we've seen that Ultron did kind of get added to the mix for FlyQuest, and just making sure that they can't have that little bit of extra spice if they wanted to go for the trip strat.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to have Rocket again. You have to burn down both teams for that Dino immediately. One side having the Star-Lord over it. Obviously, if you look at the hero pool, sometimes you'll have Tuesday go over to that, but I think with the Phoenix save, that's what they'll lean more on. It's FlyQuest Sentinels, best of 3, and we find ourselves in by far the must-watch match of the day, maybe the week. Here we go, Gaskin. Vicky, take it away.
Alrighty, Gaskin, our final map in our second series to open up our last week of our group stages. It's been crazy to see how we very rarely have had these Game 3 situations play out, but it means that a lot of these teams are only getting better. And I'm interested to also see how this Ultron ban is going to work out too for Sentinels, because this basically means that they believe here Usher could be able to dip that of Tusi. I mean, there was a lot of respect over to the Star-Lord that Usher has been able to pull out with, and when you talk about Heart of Heaven, especially when it comes to that first choke, when it comes to going outside the gates, going through the rooftops, it could be a really tricky on how to take an off angle around a Star-Lord that knows how to navigate around.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of changes for both teams here going on this first point if things go wrong. FlyQuest, though, going to allow Kart to be playing on that Hulk, which is always very exciting for us and viewers alike, because we know how good he can be on this Hulk and how much pressure he can apply as well. But Sen, can they hold just as well as they did in the previous here, or will FlyQuest be able to break?
Find out here as the bubble's already bursted here. You can see the Hulk jumping right on top, trying to burn out even more of those cooldowns before jumping right down. You sure it's going to be that face-off, though, as Tusi is not even relying on the Phoenix. Actually going to go over to the Elsa. The Fine Ray Amazing out of the sky, forcing out the BRB to already be used this early.
The very early use. Amazing's going to get back up, though, and now you can see it's a little bit of a gathering underneath as everyone's trying to group together to protect one another, but Kart is starting to force them back. As FlyQuest are now on the point, but there is also a little bit of contention as well. Crimzo doing very well with the Captain America to force them back once more, as FlyQuest just have to retreat here. So neither team feeling comfortable in this engagement at the moment.
The way that cart has just been the raid boss, right? The immediate respect. Ooh, beautiful marking right here, too, on the Banhammer. Unfortunate for Flamave as he's forced to back away. Some extra pressures, and they're going to be able to just stay grouped up together inside this side room. And now you're trying to get the stun. It gets blocked off by the White Fox shield. But look at this pressure that FlyQuest is standing on business. As Sentinels are forced to play in the back line, forcing Crimson to come right back over on the Captain America, the Sia now from Flamave. But now with that stun, after Crimson is forced to come back from the BRB, there is nobody left from Sentinels to contest on the point.
Yeah, a valiant attempt to jump on his cap, but instantly deleted as soon as you had. And now FlyQuest, where they struggled to break through on Museum of Contemplation, they do manage to break through the first point here and at least get that convoy now on its way to get point 1. As Tuzi is going to have Glassrocks available, Velocity also going to be able to work in tandem with a lot of the damage output from Melio. Maybe they'll save that for the Galactic Legend as well once they drop that one. But Sen, plenty to do on their defensive side, as Rymazing again is going to have a lot of work to do here on this Ultra.
Alright, still alive as they find and isolate Cart. Oh my goodness, I just witnessed a crime right now. And you have the Glortras coming in together as the Wombo combo from Velocity and the Sia Tusi enabled, finding a lot of this extra damage. The Extermination was also forced out from Rymazing rather, to get everybody up alive and healthy. And you have the Kumio Unleashed now from Sentinels. Crimson could also solve for a very long time from that Freedom Charge that boosts up everybody's ultimate charge too.
And you're also just going to see the advantage of having the Phoenix here for Yusha in terms of that focus. Now you will see the Ensong Inferno come out to try and target, but Galactic Legend at the same time gets popped here for FlyQuest. But can they actually convert into any damage at all? And maybe some KOs that are going to go in their favor, but it looks like the answer is going to be no there. So well held by Sentinels.
The Ultimate's being a little staggered here too, using the Ensong Inferno for a reset to try to max out of Velocity, who will have a Sia very shortly. Crimson finding Zelos. Nice little hold here, but they've lost out on 2. Rymazing making the swap off of Ultron because it's not working out when you're on the receiving end of that damage between Melio and Tusi.
Tusi is so fun to watch on the Elsa, by the way. It's great to see Elsa still being used here in this meta, thinking that maybe you wouldn't see as much of her. But of course, with Phoenix getting banned, it does just open up a little bit of a different style of poke available to you. And they are still pushing the turtle at the moment. They're still making it work. Here are FlyQuest, and they are getting closer to that next Glassrocks available for them as well.
That's straight confidence, right? Even having that available here, being on the Elsa, Cart finding another victim. Cart on this map, especially on Hulk, it's so scary. Look at this, burning down the Sia immediately right afterwards, but it still allows time for Sentinels to follow up. Flambe getting away with having that active. Awaits is very close to that Camille Unleashed, but Cart finds another victim. Rymazing has barely been able to play very much, and now he is close to letting the Devil out after making that swap over to the Daredevil and finding Zelos coming back from the BRB.
This is what I was talking about on this map as well. If you can play someone who can dive, you can take full advantage of the map.
All right, we back.
And Rymazing has done just that at the moment on the Daredevil, but you will see now.
Scarp my face real quick.
Switch on over. It's the Ensong Inferno as Dongmin gets removed, as Tuzi is able to at least get the final hit onto that one. For Rymazing again, getting up and behind FlyQuest here with Let the Devil Out.
Someone look at Tusi. He's just harassing everyone in the backline. This is actually insane. You talk about watching Tusi overall and how fun it's been to see him on the Elsa, but nobody from Sentinels is even looking in his direction.
Tusi's just another fucking, like one of those breeds that you just don't find often.
Forcing FlyQuest to back away because Melio is close to that Galactic Legend.
FlyQuest are playing this patiently though. They're waiting until everyone's grouped. This is good. You don't want to just force in and stagger everyone and allow Sen to just slowly pick you off.
Like Tuzi's the type of person that if he actually had athletic bones, probably would have went far somewhere.
Up with Freedom Charge here just to create all that space for Sen. And just
or if he never was introduced to video games, he probably would have went far in his
This
careers.
is what I wanted. Dive versus dive. Give me 2 players who are so comfortable.
Nice.
But the Ensong Inferno does get one onto Zelos, and Sen are winning this one out right now.
But their backline got destroyed between Melio and Cart, and right now, even though Yusha is finding the heads over onto Tusi, Dogman's creating this space, staying alive. Also has that Banhammer here. It's going to be the 1v1 between Vampo.
I wonder why they
use
Banhammer
we're actually on, and Vampo's still getting a lot
more
of gameplay, trying to create that space with these bubbles too. Velocity is very close to that C, and Dogman Oasis could also get the follow-up as Oasis could get the reset with the hit shot.
Slice and dice those motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying?
It does feel like trouble back in time a little bit as Itzjeff does come out in the end. As FlyQuest now going to try and respond with potentially Let the Devil Out, and there it is. Melio is going to have it available. Jeff gets absolutely deleted off the maps, and that's going to allow now the opener for FlyQuest to just
Melio.
through and do so much damage here to Sen, and maybe just push this one over to the point, and they will do so. So FlyQuest able to get that second, and Sen have to fall back despite a valiant effort.
Oasis and Flamme are trying so hard to stay alive, and it is just Cart and Melio harassing them, and right when they try to get out of their line of sight, guess who's right there in an open line of sight is going to be Tusi, who's been taking these cheeky off angles and has the Glartrox ready.
Is there going to be any switch up again, though, here from Sen is going to be my question. Amazing again, going to try and use that Let Devil out, see if he can do some damage on the back line, but FlyQuest have been defending very well, and with Zealous on White Fox, of course, have just had so much answer to the dive potential from Sen, but a lot of it has come down to Cart on that Hulk yet again with the pressure that he applies.
Playing a different game, I just have to reiterate. Cart using the World Breaker, trying to back away. They shut him down immediately afterwards, turn him into the Bruce Banner form, but it forced outright Mazing to let the Devil out. He finds Cart in the process, only finding that one, and FlyQuest are so quick to try to kite away. I mean, they have to after losing out on Melio.
Yeah, they have to, otherwise they're just going to allow Sen to really step up and force them back once more and just keep them at bay. But with only 1 minute left, FlyQuest need an answer. They've already got it pretty far, but of course they will want the full 3 to try and apply all of that pressure to Sen as well. Freedom Charge is going to be available, and again, we might see Freedom Charge into Ensong Inferno as a wombo combo to create that pressure, get the damage, but it's the Glartrox which is the first opener.
The Glartrox is so hungry, I wouldn't even want to play Dino into this too, right? You'd be in the line of sight and easy pickings as they assemble the troops with the Freedom Charge. It's going to be retaliated with Zelos having that Kumio unleashed. Now Cart does find Usher. Now we have Cart making the adjustments after swapping off the Hulk. Did enough of that spacing here and wants to stop for as long as possible because time is of the essence for FlyQuest. They're down 20 seconds in timing here to get to the third checkpoint.
Yeah, they're down on ult economy as well, and you're going to see it right here, right now from Sen as they're going to be the first ones to pop a very quick deletion of it. Yeah, yes, it came out, but it wasn't necessarily going to be enough, and now you see the counter on the side of FlyQuest with one of their own, and they are still pushing this one, and with 2 players down from Sen, FlyQuest started to take advantage.
No, Melio is just running it down right now, holding onto the spawn room gates right alongside Cart, who is diving alongside him here. We need bodies, though, on the point for Sentinel. They contest. It's going to be Dogman, but he gets fried. It's going to be alongside Techie and Tusi, who deal a lot of that damage. Usher with the reset, Ensong Inferno, just to desperately keep this going and do all the extra damage, but nobody has stopped Melio, who has taken every head out of Sentinels and now has letting the Devil out until the very moment Dogman shutting him down. That's 2 members off the table as now FlyQuest are trying to secure this point.
Yeah, Dogman's done massively. Absolute words going in favor as well for Sen because they are just doing everything they can to stay alive. Maybe there's a portal, maybe if you could just sustain for 1 second, but not quite. It was almost there. They were desperately trying to.
That would have been. Ooh, that would have been
quite
fun.
Get that 3rd point here, Vic, but they do get it bloody far.
That would have been fun.
And it's going to be hard work for Sen to try and match that.
Oh my gosh, the way that cap got put in the microwave, by the way. The Charm getting a quick little double right there, too, for Sentinels.
No,
all right, that was very, very difficult here, too. But the adjustments came through. Amazing is trying to help out the backline while also trying to gut the 3-2-1 dive together with Crimzo. It's been a difficult time here, but the adjustments that we have currently seen from FlyQuest, they were trying to at least close in that gap. Melio was popping off, but they did lose out. I believe it was Velocity very early on, and then they made that adjustment to getting the portal play just a little too late.
Dogman, though, on the Vanpool, like, hats off.
Insane.
Because without that, it was 3.
Tuesday doing Tuesday things.
Point, making sure you switch into from guns to those blades as well.
Dude has
so you get
21
that
kills, 21
So they were there. He then placed
basically
up,
killing
and now
everyone
switch
who
over
comes in his
potentially
path.
to a Penny as well to try and help out Sen. But we'll see if that
Anyone
actually
who's below
sticks.
1,000 HP
Because it
is
certainly
dead
was
in his
a
path.
really good push from FlyQuest, right? But now defensively, can they match that?
A lot of that, too, was time wasted away from FlyQuest originally on when they were on the attack versus Sentinels, who were trickling in, trying to waste more time away before that second checkpoint here. Benefited them to make the adjustments and to work into that whole economy. And Dogman, are we going to be seeing rolling out? All right.
I was going to say, on attack, it just wouldn't make sense, right? I mean,
no. I was going to say, we didn't get the Penny before. It's true.
But
especially if you get cheeky, too, with it in the fog as well. But now you're able to hold on to this rooftop gear gasking over for FlyQuest, but Melio is still sticking to the Daredevil.
And the rooftop battle is where we engage once more as well, and good positioning as well from Velocity at the moment, just going to be able to support so much with the heals from that kind of angle, just bouncing them off the roof over and over again. But Tuzi gets the opener onto Flamme. So Sen maybe will have to back out of this fight unless anyone can convert with one of their own, because they're going to be at the numbers disadvantage.
So much on the line here just for this attack alone. Very winnable still for FlyQuest here. Techie,
We need to learn
that
White
Banhammer
Fox,
cart
that's
looking to
for
dive
sure.
in together with a 3-2-1
I
alongside
think that's what needs to
Melio
be next.
before backing away. I love the pills that we're seeing. The charm forcing them to just back away here, but they're just trying to force Sentinel to take a roundabout position.
So hard to keep tabs on what to do with the brawlers. You will see the quick deletion of the BRB as well. Very important to do that. Otherwise, it could have got ugly as Melio is going to find the first. Tuzi follows with one of his own. And now with Dogman falling, Sen will lose this engagement. Has to back off. And more time goes in favor of FlyQuest.
I think it's a
hold
rip
kickoff here.
right there.
Tuzi from high ground at the moment on Starlord is just being a
I
fool on the
don't
side
think
of Sen. They are struggling
Signal
to
gonna
him
get
off of it.
past him on this
Amazing
point.
quickly got off that Ultron too. Goes right back over to the Daredevil. I do not envy the strategist
I just
backline
don't
of Sentinels.
see it.
It's difficult. Even your BRB getting marked down by Tusi, who's hanging out on the rooftops. Are amazing now, trying to dive in, forcing out more utility before getting right back to their strategist. Sees the Captain America, gets the marking just to help peel to keep them alive. And Yusha does have the Endsong Inferno to deal with that velocity once Asia's out.
Yeah, Yusha was just trying to create a little bit of poke so that Rymazing could find that KO onto those who are on the high ground at the moment, but FlyQuest have so much ult to work with. It's going to be the Galactic Legend that is going to be popped alongside Rocket, and it will just allow them to get the first couple in their favor. But with that being said, Invisible Boundary now comes out as a response from Sen.
Okay, maybe I stand corrected,
from
shit.
helping out Yusha, unfortunately
Let's
going
see
down, and
what
also didn't have the
happens.
opportunity to use the Endsong Inferno from how cheeky of an angle that Sia was too, and having to get through that choke. Oasis, Ayudame, no, Melio finds the pick off of the strategist on his Sentinels, only leaving Flamay alive.
Sen, it's time starting to tick away for them, but the ult economy is fantastic. They have so much to work with now. Only the one defensive ult for FlyQuest. They do have Freedom Charge as well, though, that they can use. So it's not like they're going to be out of options here in this next engagement, but Sen certainly have more to work with on their side. And it feels like if it's going to be any time, it has to be here, Vicky.
Good amount of damage here from Yusha, but once again, the sustain is there for FlyQuest. You start things off with a Sia, and you're gonna let the devil out if you're Rymazing. Again, these swaps really help them out.
Doesn't
and
get
it marks
this
out Melio, but the PRB
right
brings him
here.
right back. All that hard work as Cart assembles the troops and gets the Freedom Charge. They're slowly making their way over to the point, though. The Endsong Inferno sliding over to the side of the rooftop, and now finding Zealous, though, still gonna be able to have that Kumio unleashed until now. Gets the reset here, and Sentinels are still up in numbers to get this point moving.
Yeah, it had to be now, and it looks like it is going to be now. They find 2, make it 3, and FlyQuest probably just going to be dropping off. They're trying to stall a little bit, maybe trying to stall for a Strange Portal, but I think it's a bit of a stretch. No, they just about get the Strange Portal, but is it going to be enough when you are at such a numbers disadvantage?
Oh.
The answer is no. As we
Oh, I
see
thought
Sen convert
I
it
thought
and
we
get
were
the
about to
chance
be.
continue in this game, and most
I thought
importantly, Vicky,
Signals was
in
about to
this
be
series,
very
otherwise,
upset.
again, it gets a little bit shaky going into Sunday if they lose here to FlyQuest. FlyQuest, though, on the other side, they did well defensively going into
I
that first
thought
point.
they
Now
were
need to
gonna
find a
be
similar
upset.
strategy here, and certainly with Melio playing this way alongside Cart, they're going to make this a living hell for Sentinels.
Both teams literally playing for their playoff lives right now. They want some room of comfort, and Flamay brings back Rymazing. Now Dogman slowly but surely creating that space, forces out the teleport from the White Box, destroys that BRB while he was at it. And Zelos is just looking at a whole different game. Dogman giving him whiplash before backing away, and it's also allowing Yusha to have more space to play with. They lose out on Dogman after overextending just a little bit from the other side.
There's a Endsong Inferno to use as a get out of jail free card if you need it, even if it's not going to convert into a KO. It might just keep you alive and allow you to stay in that fight a little bit longer, as Rymazing and Melio are going toe-to-toe at the moment on the Daredevils. But who's actually going to be able to win that out? And who's going to be able to get a little bit of support? It's Tuzi in the end who pops the Galactic Legend.
Although you have the Endsong Inferno to finally enter back against Sia, and Tuzi gets marked down by Rymazing.
They're holding pretty hard.
Coming out from
They
Sentinels
still got
right
only
there,
got a
actually.
minute. They
And
only got a
following
minute
up
45,
into Yusha,
chat.
now Rymazing can let the devil out, but it's going to be matchup, as you already mentioned, between Melio as Rymazing and Dogman find 2 more out of FlyQuest.
We are very much amidst a brawl meta, and it is very messy to try and keep up with for some of these players. If you are not on your toes and you are not quick to react, you can get deleted by a team that quickly punishes you as they get behind. And now, Sentinels, they will have Rymazing to have the Let Devil out, and maybe with the Sia, they can actually do some real damage here. And Crimson has Freedom Charge, so actually this is going to be the perfect chance as both sides the Daredevils pop.
Let the devil out here. The Sia to give him the extra damage boost. It is a wipe clean as Rising waking up, going crazy here to clear this point. They need the extra space. They're down a minute, less than 3 seconds on this attack, and they need to be able to keep harassing them. You see the 1-2 between Crimzo, and you already mentioned that freedom charge to boost them all up and for the stall potential.
The important thing to remember here is FlyQuest did that first point a lot quicker than Sen did. So Sen are going to have less time to try and work with towards second and third point at the moment. But FlyQuest, they will get one chance to reset here. And, you know, the problem is, are they going to get this Strange back in time if they need it for that portal? Of course, the 140-second reset after they used it on that first point, as now you will see freedom charge coming out from Sen.
That is such a good point here, too. Is it going to be burned down off of the pool here? But a great stall here. Now just trying to keep everybody alive. Sentinels dealing a huge chunk of this damage, though. Clearing the point is going to be FlyQuest with a Kumi Unleashed together with Zelos. And Techie also has that Banhammer. Just trying to find the isolation if they can mark down Rising. And Yusher is going to get the reset off the Ensong Inferno. Crimzo harassing Velocity. Everybody look behind. Now Tusi is forced to back away as the only player alive. And Cart, too. And now the rest of FlyQuest are in shambles as Sentinels get the second checkpoint here.
Yep, they're going to be able to convert it. There's not going to be any sort of shenanigans with Strange, but maybe there can be a Strange portal used a little bit later because of that. But that being said, when you get to that last point anyway, it's not really going to matter too much. It's about diving on and jumping in. As FlyQuest, they allow that second point to come through, but now they have 1 minute and 15 on the clock to try and defend here. Sen are not going to have much opportunities to try and break through, so they need to be winning these engagements, and losing out on Rising is not the way you want to start.
This is so close. Oh my goodness. Sitting on the edge of my seat right now, Gaskin, as everything is on the line in the next 60 seconds. Can we unleash now for Oasis just to help them follow up? Rising gets the next pick, but the Glocktrox is feasting. It finds it looks like 2 right there. Crimzo manages to make their way back, but Oasis is telling a different story, but it's fine. Crimzo comes, follows.
I can't miss this chat. It's too good.
I mean, it's Crimzo.
I'm listening to it. I can hear it.
Melio at the moment, and it's just a battle that is very difficult to win because Melio was on his own. Cart was down, but Cart working with Melio, going to try and do the same thing on the other side, but now Cart switching over to Hulk here for FlyQuest is all they have to do really now. With 25 seconds left, FlyQuest need to win one fight, and it should be enough to win this game, win this series, and also push them closer towards playoffs, of course. As for Sen, though, they have tools in their arsenal.
FlyQuest, hold. Hold the line.
After that last round, and now Melio too was 18-6, and now changing things up as Crimzo follows up with the BRB, bringing one back here as Tusi's coming into the mix. Velocity still has that Sia. Overtime forced to be activated. Dockman has a Banhammer. Let the devil out. Can they help up the strategist though? As Melio finds one onto the wipe, onto BRB coming in clutch.
Yeah, and actually you're going to see as well the Banhammer onto Melio just made him back off a little bit, but now you can see Yusha is going to be able to pop and will pop, and it takes down Zelos, and suddenly Sen are able to get the upper hand against FlyQuest at the moment, but FlyQuest off spawn need to throw everything at this.
Oh my gosh, overtime now taken away. FlyQuest are down in numbers. Cart is doing everything to stay alive. They all need to look at him without giving too much space for the rest of FlyQuest to trickle in.
Crimzo's gone down. That could be huge for FlyQuest as well. And the grab is going to be big on the side of Sen, but not going to really help them in this situation because FlyQuest.
Let's go Fly! Let's go Fly!
Here to win this series and make this thing very interesting going into Sunday.
No way, FlyQuest!
Let's go FlyQuest! Hell yeah!
In a very intense final fight, Sentinels were building up momentum, and it was all for naught as FlyQuest have turned things up in their favor. What a series to open up our first day here in our final week here. But Cozy, I want to get your thoughts because that was actually on another level.
Oh my god. Oh my god, so they played perfect, right? Like the fact that they were able to, well, they had to play perfect with the time banked allowed after that .1, and they continued to get to that next checkpoint. They were meters off, and as you said, that pick on Crimzo just shut down the rest of the sustain on the overtime. I can't believe it. Sentinels, no matter win or lose, make it interesting. And FlyQuest, talk about a bumpy start and takeoff, Gaskin. And then just no turbulence. It's smooth riding from there. They have officially put this group in, chaos.
Absolute chaos. I mean, if you try and predict what's going to happen on Sunday, you'd be a madman. But what it does put is FlyQuest in such an advantageous position now because they go into their last match against Nightmare.
Yeah.
And while stats would suggest, Nightmare are 0-4, not saying it's done and dusted, but certainly is a far better position to be in than if they had lost this one, right?
Yeah, I mean, that is obviously, we don't want to call a spade, but having Nightmare as the last match just leans a lot of favor into getting you to punch your ticket. And Sentinels had everything set up for them. If you're Sentinel fans, I mean, you're just heartbroken at this moment now because you are up for an elimination match potentially, or even more into a crazy tiebreaker where maps matter, right? And if you look at maps, NRG, they're losing their minds because they still have a chance in this whole thing now. So it's crazy how things have shaken out, and it's proven to be a lot like preseason, Vic. I don't even know what to make sense of some of the chaos we watched, Vic. What was your biggest takeaway?
My biggest takeaway is somebody give Tusi a raise, because that Glartrox, dude, it was insane. I mean, aside from Cart going absolutely wild on the Hulk and splitting up attention from the team, what happens if you look behind you? You're looking at the Hulk to make sure your strategists stay alive, but then guess what? You're met with a front-facing Glartrox to take out 3, take out half the team from Sentinels to add. That was insane, but also, like you mentioned, trying to play perfectly is very difficult, especially when the spawn room gates are right there and FlyQuest capitalized.
I mean, who could say it better than Loki on the Avengers? I have an army, and what does Tony say? We have a Hulk, and that is, we have a Cart. I swear to God, I mean, it's exactly that. You called it perfectly because you were like, oh, hold on, Cart switches to Hulk. And just like that, I mean, everybody knew what was going to happen from there on out. Tusi, though, has continued to be such this source of consistency handling the assignment. And it was crazy because the big heavy hitters from both sides, Gaskin, Crimso, Rymazing at one point was just playing like a live-die simulator. I mean, it was crazy. They were all throwing everything they had at it, and that just shows how much they each won it. Both these teams can find themselves in the playoffs, but a bit harder now for Sin.
There was just so many fights happening on different sides of the map. It felt like there was 3 different engagements that were happening. The strategists were just trying to keep up those vanguards that were having an insane battle, whilst the duelists were almost fighting themselves at the same time. Very difficult to keep up with, and as you say, it's very brave to make the call of, all right, we're losing the Cap versus Cap and the Daredevil versus Daredevil here. How do we win it? Cart, here's your opportunity. Show us why you are one of the best Hulks in the world, if not the best Hulk in the world, right? And he did just that. He has now put FlyQuest just in touching distance of playoffs, if not there already. So it is just an amazing situation for them. I'm sure they're delighted to get that win.
Oh yeah, I think Cart gets my MVP personally. I mean, that just the picture as a whole, right? To come in here and to be able to, you take a look at it all. Like, I can't wait to interview them because you're looking at a lot of these players, right? We go back to the interview with Velocity, who said that they're going to start trialing for strategists in RG, right? And look where the hell that got him, right? I mean, if it's crazy to look. Now you have FlyQuest coming in quite comfortably. Velocity there at the bottom. Taking a look at the stats, Vicky. To lose Vest and make this team and have them correct themselves the way they did is definitely one of the stories to highlight this season.
And I think another big story is Cart with rather a little bit of a rough start here and trying to slot into a new team. Like, people just don't really realize how difficult that is as teams ramp up. And there's been time here, and only FlyQuest has been one of those few teams that have gotten better and better as the weeks have progressed. This was excellent for FlyQuest to also look back on and study up on the little adjustments that they made that played a big into them winning the series.
For sure. And I mean, I got to give credit too to just FlyQuest as the org taking a look at the team they had in the preseason. And you can only get 3 swap ups, right, Gaskin? And to say, all right, these are where we're going to make the adjustments. We think we're this far away from making
hopefully
a
we're back.
push. And they had, and it's tough in the decision to make because they were looking good towards the end, right? And to have the pieces they had, boy, did they find him in that free agency.
They did, and I think, like you said, it's brave, and there's definitely some big moves that they made, and I think that Cart is just such an excellent addition to this team. Like, they felt like they needed a Vanguard, they needed to bring someone in who was going to bring a bit of stability to the roster, and Cart, even though it can sometimes be a different method of Vanguard, boy, does it look good when it works, and he is certainly a pleasure to watch.
Absolutely. Well, there's so many people we'd love to talk to with Fly, but we have their coach, Dennis, here for the winners interview, and I think this is the perfect person to talk to. Let's go ahead and welcome on in. Thank you, first of all, for coming on in for the interview. Congratulations on what was a nail biter, Dennis. Hey, I got to say right away, I mean, I don't know, how long you've been with the team, but I want to ask you, just looking across of what this has been from preseason to now, walk me through having 3 new, starters coming in and making this team have this identity and where you are today.
All right, first of all, preseason team, I loved all of the boys. I loved the team. It was probably the best, single-handedly the best environment I have ever experienced as a coach in a team. I don't think we ever tilted or like ever had a bad environment in the team or any type of blame. Maybe we missed some fire, like some passion in the very beginning, in the beginning, and that's why we were like 1 week a bit too late. But it is what it is. We made our analysis, we understood what was wrong, we understood our mistakes, we understood what changes we want to make, and I'm just gonna say it, Cart Lover, he was on my list. Like the second I saw this team in MRC, even like I knew that guy's insane. Like whatever that guy was doing, it was like next level. So I was eyeing him. I was calling him to sub as much as I could, and in the end, like he declined. He wanted to stay, but in the end, he believed in me, believed in the team, believed in this roster that we built, and last second, basically, he just made a swap, him and Velocity.
W-Cart.
And yeah, that's the team you see right now, and I think that, again, it's hard because it's 3 new players, okay, new environment, new everything. We have to rebuild from scratch. So it was a little bit tough first week. I would say that it's on us, no excuses, the performance first week. So sorry to the fans, but we are working very hard. Okay, we are putting hours daily. Probably talked with Velocity already about it, right? And we believe that we're on the right track with this current team. Yes.
2 huge personalities and additions, Vicky.
Oh yeah, it's so insane to see how you guys have ramped up, literally only getting better and better, and that's what we keep highlighting in the broadcast, because it's just not easy to slot in some new players here as well, and you guys have really showcased that. Now, you guys take it against Sentinels 2-1. Can you enlighten us a little bit about how you've slotted in these new players, how you guys have been able to kind of iron out what you needed after a rough first week?
Well, first of all, 3 big personalities and new additions, okay? Techie is an amazing player and probably the cornerstone of this team currently. I would say that without Techie, we have a lot of passion in this team compared to preseason. We have a lot of opinions.
I would say
a lot of big opinions sometimes. And I would say that Techie, while also having those, he keeps the team
cutting everybody
structured.
out.
Okay, he's very respected in the team, and his opinion matters. And when Techie gets mad, okay, people know that it's bad. Okay, like we have to chill out, right? So I would say that with this team, just gotta make sure that all the opinions are heard, while everyone feels like everyone is heard. Everyone feels that their opinion is being applied in one way or another, but at the same time, everyone has to feel that we're moving to some greater goal or like united goal, because the second we have some disagreements, it gets out of hand real fast. So that's the only kind of challenge that we face with this team. But when we are on the same page, we perform very well, I would say. Both in scrims and officials today, I would say it was a blunder from us. Second map, it was supposed to be to 0 in my opinion.
The clip I'm about to release is also a museum.
We did a better prep for them today. I do think we had a better read on them. I do think we just looked better on a day, plus a better prep. The series should not have gone 3 maps. But yeah, that's kind of how it is. I think that we're on the right track, as I said.
Dennis, listen, you've been a breath of fresh air, and it's been great to get to hear your insight. You know, you have a lot of great personalities over there. Love a lot of the people you have on your team. I think actually going into preseason, we talked about this cat. We're like, that was Techie. Like, we know Techie's a great player, so to get that pickup is massive, and to get that win against his former team is probably really cool for him. So give him props as well. Want to ask you, right, as we go into playoffs, you guys are looking pretty set, all right? Nightmare up ahead, obviously take care of business. But if you guys do make it, we ask all the teams, are you guys getting together? Are we going to be getting the Europe over to, NA, and you guys doing a little bit of a, a house LAN?
There will be a LAN. Unfortunately, I probably won't be there because visa situation is a little bit tough currently. But I'll try my best. But yeah, all of the boys are going to be at LAN. If anything, I have have experience controlling LANs on remote, so it's not a problem for me. If anything, I have an assistant coach that can be there. So yeah, there's gonna be a LAN. There's gonna be boot camp. That's what I meant, right? And yeah, there's gonna be a lot of prep. I have big plans for the boot camp. If it works out, I expect this to be very scary in in playoffs.
Well, heck yeah, man. We appreciate you coming on. Congratulations for you guys just, completely causing chaos in Group B. And it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for coming on, and we wish you luck.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you. Bye.
That is FlyQuest and the coach of it. And Dennis is a treat. We'd love to hear more from him in the future. And just cool to see, him back up a little bit of the team that they had going into preseason. And really, the mental is so important. I mean, obviously, it's just such a crucial part of sports, esports, gaming in general. I see all the time people that are more talented lose because of that, because they don't have the mental and pressure, situations. But y'all, we said it was the match today. It lived up to it without question. But we still have one more, and there could be upset potential as another team has so much to play for. And there's a lot of great things to break down. We're going to see you on the other side of this break as we reset, reload. We'll be right back.
Okay. That's back. Perfect.
Show me that you are still the only one that matters for me. I'll be waiting for you. Wait up in your hands, holding.
Damn, she wasn't wrong.
Look inside you. Can you feel it?
What keeps dropping? Why? Come back, hold on. Make sure.
I don't know, let it know. 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸는 손 대신 기다려 I'll be there 쓰러지지만 끝까지 일어나야 해 어딜 가든지 극복해 힘은 너에게 있는 걸 소리 높여 노래를 불러 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 춤을 춰봐 어둠이 떠 날 때까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐 우리에게 달려서 새기우면 어둠이 떠 날 때까지
That's my shit, chat. That's my shit right here. Hey! Hey! And they're gonna end it, and they're gonna fucking end it, and they're gonna ruin it. No!
What's going on, guys? And welcome back. We promised
We want the music.
Week 3, and of course, we're there. We're on the last match of today, and it is going to be.
My
one
cat
that
is
I
like,
think a
what
lot
are
of
we
people
doing?
Clearly think they know how it's going to go. You have Team Liquid Citadel versus Space Station
Like,
Gaming.
what are we
and
doing?
The story here,
That's
Vicky,
funny.
is if SSG can do what no team has done, beat TLC, they clinch. They're in that playoff position.
And that is quite a difficult mountain to climb, right? That's a lot of ask. And in a best of 3, too, it's very little room for error, especially when we go to our first map on domination. But you know what? Anything is possible, especially looking at the way that we started our
Woo!
Hey, listen, SSG, they've done a lot. Let's take
We
a
were
look at the
getting
roster and
into
the
it.
team
Dude,
and the
that
players
song,
that they,
I don't know, it
have.
gets
And
me going.
take a look
It
at
gets
the
me
team.
hyped.
You know, they've gotten some big
It's one of those
additions.
girly
Sanji
pop
coming in
songs that you
here,
just can't
I believe
resist.
last week or the week before played with like food
That's the
poisoning.
thing,
Still
man.
played so
They'll
great.
make 'em like they
A lot of
used
the
to.
hero pool that they play complement, I think, Nectar so well. We know what Nectar can do, and really unbannable.
That was a banger right
Gaskin.
there.
I think, you know, that bond with Month as well just makes this whole team click.
Yeah, Nectar only second to Delena in terms of final hits in Americas, so really has been one of the standout players in the Americas at the moment.
Milk
but of course,
Boy.
still in a
Is
shaky
this Tank's
situation, as
name?
you were saying. Yeah, they can win, but if they lose, there's always an opportunity of ending up in like some sort of three-way
Come on,
tie. And
Renee.
it's not like they have the easiest
What are
matchup
we
on
doing?
the last day as well, so they would love to try and get it done here, so it's less pressure, but that is easier said than done against TLC. That being said, I do love this Space Station team. I think they'll be a bit frustrated at the loss against TSM because, you know, TSM were looking like they were down and out, and then TSM just showed up and demonstrated that they had just that extra little bit of charge that maybe a few people didn't expect. But now SSG, they need to respond. Even if they don't win here against TLC,
Right.
they need to at least show that they can bounce back from a loss like that.
Right, because you can snowball downhill, and you know, I would say after losing to TSM, that can definitely shake things up a little bit and just really kind of mess with, you know, okay, who are we, right? What can we do? And I can tell you a team that knows exactly who they are. As Vest just looking so great there. My gosh, Vest, gotta get whoever your cameraman is. But this team has been, you know, continuing to set the standard. We say this with Swamp Gaming all the time. This is the team that we look towards, especially in our region, to represent the top of the top, especially, you know, looking ahead towards something like LAN, because they have it all
Why is this
together.
guy
And
cracking his
we've continued to
knuckles?
see the team that, you know,
Everyone
dominated the
else is
preseason,
crossing their arms.
continue to do it here, Vicky. They just don't have weaknesses. They have a lot of great ways to play. Pauly, Vest is some of the strongest vanguards that we have. They're the strongest vanguards we have, in my opinion, and it's hard to take them down.
I love
I'm hearing through
America.
the grapevine too, though, that Space Station may have some information
crazy.
from some leaked scrims. So we're gonna have to see if that at least does something against these Titans of Team Liquid Citadel. It's gonna be hard with Vez also being, you know, the Southern Belle on this team, of course, with that
Sorry, it might
picture
be
of
loud.
Cozy.
Okay, cool,
We have to take a look at the side by sides too, because again, we keep highlighting it's not gonna be easy. But Space Station also want to make sure that their bottoms are comfy in qualifying in the top 4.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, the fact that Space Station have TLC right into yeah, we lost. Those are the two arguably that people would put as the 1-2 of the group. If you go look at the seeding and how things worked out in the preseason, certainly that. Yeah, we lost too is like the last team I would want to go up against the last, just because A, they're hungry, B, they're hard to play against and prep for. But with this team, I mean, yeah, this is the assignment. You got to win, Dom. You have to take it. Obviously, they've done a reverse sweep Gaskin, but this is a team you cannot give any room.
No, you can't. And, you know, we're building it up as, you know, SSG need to show us what they're made of. SSG would love to get a win here, but let's call the reality here. Team Liquid Citadel have been unbeatable. They have looked undefeatable. They have just been one of the best teams in the world, if not the best team. I mean, up there with the likes of Na'Vi, of course. Heretics looking pretty good in EMEA as well. Like, they are the team that is leading the charge for Americas. And when we get to global competition, they are the team that everyone will be relying on performing. To take them down here would be the biggest statement of
really
all from
good
SSG. It really would be a tall order.
Really stinking good.
It would just blow up.
They just know how to like keep
okay,
every one of their
everything
like
changed.
people like.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well just crown TLC now. No, we're not. Because listen, I mean, even when you look at the movies and you got what looks like an impossible situation to win, what is your situation to win? That's what I want to look into, right? And for me, you look at Equinox versus them last time. I think that was the last matchup we had in week 2, day 2. All right. They looked like they had some room of error. I mean, first of all, I think if you are going to target ban something, Speedery has been the one that people try to, you know, go that direction for. Celestial Husk going to take us to our first map today between the two. But, like, how does this team get it done, Vicky? That's what I want to look at. SSG, certainly plenty of the, you know, talents there. We even look at things like stat sheets. Month is one of the most successful, you know, strategists in terms of value, what they're getting. Nectar, don't even need to continue on what Nectar brings to the team. They just have to start hot, bring it hot, and play with nothing to lose.
I think it goes into that pick and ban phase, right? And you were talking about how difficult it is to mark down Nectar, but obviously with the flexibility being on Liquid Citadel's side, they are not afraid of rolling out with what they need to rely on depending on how that pick and ban phase really adjusts them. And going out to Celestial Husk, which, you know what, Cozy?
I am
surprised the first time we get to see this Dom map for the day, but also I'm very happy because although we've had the last two Hell's Heaven, now moving out to Celestial Husk, you have that middle console and that verticality to play with.
Definitely, this is Vicky's hometown map. If you don't know, it's always here when Vic is on the air. But either way, I mean, hey, if you like prediction points and you want to maybe believe, point to the sign and make it big. Now's the time to throw it on to SSG. But we start off with the pick and the bans.
Did she start like coughing and like hacking?
Rocket save as we continue to see today.
I mean, I feel. I'm not making. I feel for her, but damn. They cut to her at the worst wrong time.
Gaskin. We've been seeing this happen a lot more often, especially when we see the rocket save
I
definitely
feel
so that way you get to get the counter onto the Sia.
For sure.
But it also kind of forces out Space Station to figure out, okay, well, are we gonna also want to ban out the rocket here? No, they're gonna allow to ban out the Luna Snow instead. In case
come on, y'all. Luna
just Dino shenanigans.
Luna just wants a little gameplay. Let her in.
You don't want a one-sided Luna affair. We've seen how difficult that can be if you're on the receiving end of that. So I don't really blame people for just removing Luna at this point. And it
overlay.
This week, the bans situation. Like before, we saw a lot more focus onto like Devil Dino and on
I tell you
Lord,
what,
for example, but we have seen far more on
what,
Phoenix and Luna.
Even in 2012 or 11, whenever season 2, season 1 of League of Legends was around,
the Rocket ban from
their
TLC
production
is going to
team
come out while they are hovering over that White Fox. So if they want to be able
was
to try
so
to
much
prioritize that
better
and help out their
than
guys,
what Marvel
well,
Rivals
gives
us.
Anything,
And I don't get it. I don't get it.
To just completely
like
they
make
that
money,
line.
chat.
So
they
all
make
plans
money.
on the table
Guys,
here
they
as
make money.
SSG doing their homework with the information that they're working on.
Like, look at
protecting
this. Like,
that Phoenix and Black Cat,
what
forcing out that White Fox ban out to prevent that team up.
Isn't it insane as well that Dino was just like a guaranteed ban in like so many games, and now we're starting to see Dino get through because people have worked out how to play against the Dino. As it looks like SSG with that Black Cat. I mean, I'm excited to see just who's going to be taking that Black Cat and how much you can do really against TLC on Black Cat as well. But with the White Fox Protect on the side of TLC, obviously, you have that kind of counter a little bit to the dive with the White Fox just on that line. Very difficult to go up.
I knew who these players were.
It's going to be just an entertaining game to watch. Whatever happens, we have some of the best players in the world competing in this one, so you know it's going to be a spectacle.
Now getting everything on the table, too. I already know with the Space Station backs against the wall, making sure that they want to be able to qualify in that top 4 spot. I mean, Mantis, no ban from either side, and that's actually insane because then you get to get the Loki team up on top of it. So the bigger lamps, they saw the Protect over onto the Black Cat, and Chenji's going to be able to try to rely on that.
Let's get these next 2
rounds
over, hopefully.
And hanging out
I'm gonna
over
be real
on
chat.
the high ground there, they're very good at creating a lot of that pressure and space, and we talk about that middle console with that little high ground disparity, together with maybe having that damage boost onto Nectar too.
I was wondering who is going to be moving over to the Black Cat, but makes sense with Danji. The Zanji, excuse me, the third most damage dealer in the entire region at the moment, and just such an amazing player to watch. If you put him on a character like Black Cat, yeah, it's gonna be a difficult time for TLC. That being said, they do have that White Fox, of course, and we are going to be able to see whether now they
another production problem. We know we can mute one side and not the other side, right? We know we could do that.
Rolling out of the gates already with the Dino. Vez
and how one side's chopping,
has been able to showcase their flexibility here too, being such a great
just this
vanguard
company.
I
get it's not like
Speedery being on the Ultron. That's another reason why I was mentioning the verticality here on Celestial Husk, because it's going to be very difficult to mark down Speedery, which will be Nectar's job together with Renko giving him that damage boost. But it's going to be also eyes on Shandy to make sure they don't get any sneaky plays to harass either Cooper or Nero.
We also haven't even spoken about Polly on
just
cap.
like League
Polly
now.
being back on cap is always going to be an exciting time for everyone involved, except the other team, of course. As Energy gets the opener onto Necrise and SSG down to 5, and TLC are going to gain control at this point first.
It's not like Call of Duty,
for SSG, they are dropping like flies.
Where no matter what title drops,
remember,
Call of Duty
is
will
able
always
to shine
sell.
now for TLC, taking control over the high ground.
Like, let's be real, the new Call of Duty is gonna
sell. The next victim,
it's
and
gonna
TLC
sell.
already nearing 50%.
That trailer
as you
was
already
good.
mentioned too, we've seen a lot of target bans onto
Makes me
Paulie,
wanna
but
get it.
you give Paulie now Captain
thing is,
America
chat,
to reign
if I
free
get it,
on this first map is
It's gonna
very
be like
deadly
2
in a best of
weeks
3.
of me just grinding it, and then I'm gonna get bored of it. Because it's the exact same thing, right? Like, Olcod
and they can start
was
to bully
like,
them a little bit. Alongside Polly, you've got Veswa
I don't
on
know.
the Devil Dino, and they just
It
create
was just-
so much space for the likes of
the
Energy.
tempo was great
Just a
in
feed
old
from the
COD.
back line as well. On
New
that
COD
Phoenix,
is,
just be able
and
to
I
do
love
so
it,
much damage
and I
alongside
love every
Speedery.
second of it. Run
We
and
need
gun.
a lot from Zanji here if they're going to be able to
But
break
like
this
old
setup for
COD,
TLC.
I mean, you could run and gun in old COD, but not
Nectar's
as
taking a
not
lot
like
of damage
you
though,
could.
because the sustain
in
may be
old.
not enough once you're forced out to use
Old
these
COD,
lamps.
you-
If you're
you-
month already getting stunned, the Phoenix able to control so much of
You
that
know,
space. Vaz
there
also
was
huge
no,
amount of
like-
that damage trying to
like,
navigate
of
away,
course,
so
like,
Speedery to
you
try to
shot
keep him
first
up.
mattered,
Beautiful shield, though, right
but,
on
like,
time.
not as
50%,
big
and
as it-
TLC are so split. You have Nectar now trying to capitalize.
Okay, she
Shandy's
got
going to be able to
Black-
find
she
Nero.
got,
That's going to be one of the strategists out of the table, but Cooper had
Fox.
that invisible boundary
White
early
Fox all
and
night.
ready, and Speedery now to stall that out has the extermination.
Insane that Veswa stayed alive, by the way, on the Devil Dino. His sustain was incredible. The heals for
what are you
TLC
aiming
backline
at?
the moment. Unbelievable, especially against a Mantis team as well from SSG, as TLC are still scoring and using those ults just to stay alive at the moment. Necrise does
Could've been
finally
worse.
shut down Veswa, so maybe this is going to be
Could've
the
been
fight
better
that
for
SSG
the
were
Deadpool.
looking for.
It's just the fact that they've been
I don't
able
know,
to get
Chad.
some
I
of
just-
these
I-
raw,
in my
like,
opinion, I
hits,
just
but now you
like-
see Energy finding Shanji,
I could see it as
Poly
tank pool. You
afterwards,
can't really
but
stack it as
TLC
easily.
still have control over this point until
Getting
right
that
now.
S
You have
rank
the God of
and
Mischief and the
beating
rest of
challenge
TLC are just
7.
trying to back away.
To get 7.
Month is going to pop God of Mischief as well, just to get
That is a little bit
second
harder.
strategist ult to work with as well to force TLC back, but was that used
'Cause
unnecessarily?
support pool's easy.
Is going to be my question, because now TLC are going to
Go
have
to
the
swords,
ult advantage
hit
going
your-
into this
hit your
next fight.
Q,
Polly's going to have freedom charge.
Get out of
just to
swords,
try and
throw your right click,
engage
that's
here and create that space
upgraded.
for everyone
You're gonna
else.
get 7
Nero
every
also
time.
not far away, and TLC realistically only need
Go
one
back to
break, and
swords
they
and
force
just
SSG into a
Be another
strange
tank,
portal
essentially,
situation already.
because you're healing so
I
much.
agree. I mean, a little overzealous on that God of Mischief
And
too,
then
because
you
now
almost
you got
become
TLC just
unkillable
all kite away,
if you have
wait
your
for
E as
Pauly
well.
to come back, all regroup together, and look at these ultimates that they're working with. Vez has the rampage. Pauly's gonna rally the troops with the freedom charge. Get right back to the point as Shanji is looking right above here, and Renko's taking a quick nap too, by the way. While the rampage comes in, now you come diving down. You have the Ensong Infernal together from Nectar, but they've lost out on the strategist. No sustain left for Space Station Gaming.
Yeah, there's going to be 3 of them that will fall, and even though Zanji is doing his best on that Black Cat to try and disrupt a little bit, did shut down Speedery, but it's not going to matter. TLC will regain control, and as now, the Strange Portal has to come out from Month. He is going to be able to get there on time as overtime just ticks over, but are you going to be too staggered here to win this fight?
I mean, is the Loki and Mantis going to be enough when you're forced to burn out these lamps? I mean, Renko making the quick swap up just to allow Month to come in with a portal play. Speedery is dancing around that middle console here together, trying to build up into that calling card that he can even use for the next round. He's isolated Loki. You're forced by the health pack. You have a clone, but they need some help. And the rest of TLC are farming the point as they clear out Space Station in a 152 takeover before going into round number 2.
Yeah, I really want to go back to that interesting decision on the God of Mischief. Like, it felt unnecessary from SSG. I don't know if it was a miscommunication on their side, whether they felt that TLC were going to get back into that engagement somehow. But either way, it allowed TLC just to get the ult economy back in their favor, knowing that they weren't going to go up against any strategist ults in the next one. And really, they were able to just run over them once they built up then of their own. Zanji did have ult, but sadly is not going to be enough on its own with all of the pressure that TLC was dealing. Now TLC find themselves with the first round here on Domination.
And the quick swap up too, if Speedery continues to roll out the gates with this Black Cat after originally being on the Ultron, look how close he is to the calling card. Cooper has not gone down a single time. Then you're dealing with that and having the Loki Mantis strategist to help keep the rest of these teams alive. It's just going to be very difficult to work with if you're going to be getting dove at the same time.
It's whether SSG have a backup plan here, because they have tried something a little bit different, and it hasn't necessarily worked out here in this one. And maybe they would have learned their lesson, but saying that, at least it's going to change up the point that we're going to be fighting for, and perhaps their composition will do a little bit better. But again, with what Polly's been able to do on the Captain America alongside Vess, they have just been able to bully SSG over and over again, and with Energy just creating just so much of a gap between themselves and the backline has just done so much damage as well from a distance, and they haven't been able to really take him out.
Also to note here, let's not forget that White Fox is banned for Space Station, so you're not going to really have a strategist to help you reset. And no cheeky composition from Noteboy, which, by the way, another penny on the table as Space Station are cleared up, as well as those nests in a quick Ensong Inferno.
And a quick swap off of the penny as well. You try it, doesn't work, and sadly, yeah, you're not going to be able to retake as comfortably on the penny. You have to really take that first point to really get her very best in your favor. And for TLC now, they once more will hold. They'll be able to now get aggressive again. They do have the economy advantage, even though SSG are very close to building. Necro is close to that psionic seduction as well.
Polly.
Again, Zanji just needs to try and take out these strategists early, but they've done very well at defending one another.
The Black Cat versus Black Cat, though, matchup real quick before you see Polly also trying to dive in to follow up alongside Speedery, but taking a huge chunk of that damage just force out Renko to bring everybody together with that Mantis ultimate. Nectar very close to the Ensong Inferno. Speedery probably about to find the next victim. Has the calling card ready. Sonic Seduction is going to be used first, which is going to be a great green light for Speedery once this is done. The lamps are also forced out early on, and Mutt does have that God of Mischief, and he doesn't even have the opportunity to press a button before the calling card comes in, as well as a dive between Polly and Energy.
It's the speed of which TLC finish engagements. When they know they have the advantage and they have the upper hand, they execute so successfully. You can tell the communication is on point. They have that game plan, and they delete other teams as soon as they have that extra single player. And they're utilizing these ultimates so good together as well. They still have
Loki
the
has their
advantage. SSG now,
but no one else other than their Phoenix. So what they could do,
otherwise we're going to go for a very quick 2-0.
What's he doing?
Month has that God of Mischief, and they don't want it to be that quick. They needed to try to shift a lot of this momentum back in their favor, and that's how you do it. With Energy being able to swap over to the Daredevil, finding Polly. Speedery, though, finding Renko's even bigger, because once Month is done, it's just a matter of time before the dive comes in. Right on top of their head here. Month is off.
Like, who is he?
Overtime taken away in favor for Team Liquid Citadel. Sure, you have the Ensong Inferno from Nectar, but they have to stay on this point, and right now, Energy is farming them.
Just absolutely deleting them. Is there going to be a swap over to a Strange? I'm not even sure you're going to have time to do so. So TLC are just walking over this one. SSG nowhere to be seen. It is a very quick 2-0 statement for the side of Team Liquid Citadel. They continue.
What I say, chat? What I say?
They are now 7-0 on
TLC
stage 1, Vicky, and they don't look like they're slowing down anytime soon.
I wouldn't want to be any of the
Team Liquid Citadel does not disappoint.
Once those lamps are out, I mean, you have
almost in every game they're just.
Then you have to also deal with an Ensong.
Every game that I follow,
at least. With Penny, and then gets that deleted. The lamps get deleted while they were alongside.
They know how to keep
Renko's
things going.
Off a little early in that second to last fight.
They're not
Team
like
Liquid Citadel.
TSM,
they're sitting in the driver's seat once again, holding on to that perfect record. And
not
Celestial Husk is
I love how they
their
do
pocket.
it,
We're
but
gonna figure
they need
out
to focus that they're a competitive team
on the other side of this
more
break.
than
Go anywhere.
Streamhouse. Yeah. And Image, I get it. I love how they build their streams because, like, if you look at all, like, old TSM players, they got a decent following where they can just stream whatever game and they can live. You know, they game and they can live. Easy money. But what point are we like, okay, let's try to get another championship, guys. Let's try to get another cup. Let's try to get another anything, you know? Last time I remember TSM winning anything is in League. That was what, season 5? When did when did TSM win World? Ah! So you see, even proving my point even further here, chat. I thought they won. Because here I am. Hold on. My shit! Because I believed, and it might be what it said, the quarterfinal title or whatever. Dyrus is like wallpaper on his computer when he streams because I watch him sometimes. He's cool. It's him and his team holding like a championship trophy. So here I thought they won Worlds, but little did I know they won Worlds. So what did they win? But okay, back to my point. TSM just doesn't take things seriously like TLC does. I mean, I get it. I hear you. You're looking out for your players to try to make them build a good career after their time being a pro. But they're pros, man. Get them into the pro game. Like, they want to win. They're not here to build. They're not here to build careers off of that. They're here to win. If they wanted to sign with you, they wanted to, you know. If they really wanted to keep things moving, I don't know. It's just I think TSM. That's like one of my favorite teams. It just sucks that almost every game they touch are absolutely trash. Because we're all friends. We can't get mad at each other to be like, let's get better! And one guy's like, dude, I just want to chill and talk to chat while we play comp. And like, some of them turn into like, I don't play without streaming. So when they're playing scrims and stuff, they're talking to chat rather than taking the scrim serious. Because I went to look on I went to look at FlyQuest TikToks and follow them to try to get something, you know, moving on my profile. Whatever. They don't have really any community. Not a community I would shoot for. I mean, if that's what they're happy with, that's what they're happy with. But 1,000+ guys. That's what we should be aiming for. Every time. Here's the Iron Man skin. I'm here. I'm down.
Powering up. Bombs away. Maximum pulse.
Lead your allies with grace, but spare no mercy for those who cross you. Command the battlefield in style with the new Iron Man Samurai skin and Mantis skin that you can find right now in-game to rep your main's new addition and costume to the game. And hey, speaking of it, I mean, we saw a team try to go with the Mantis there and Loki, and things somewhat fell apart. I got to say, when you look at Celestial Husk in the first win going over to TLC, as many would expect, Gaskin, listen, you're going from a team like TSM over to TLC, a little bit of a whiplash there, especially when you have, you know, to prep after a loss to a shock there of TSM. What do you do here for your SSG? Because you only need a win to get in, but you have three maps now that are going to be tough scenarios.
Pull the Ethernet out, unplug as many peripherals as possible. I don't know, like I struggle to know really what to do against TLC, and I would love to give a deep dive on how to beat them, but no one has figured out how to beat them. If I knew how to figure out how to beat them, I'd be on someone's team, because TLC at the moment, they look just so well polished, and the fact that they have Spark Chief on the bench as well, like, is insane. They have just built this ultimate roster that seems to be impenetrable at the moment. They don't have any weaknesses. They are not lacking on any front. And I think everyone is starting to realize that they are the God Squad of this region, and no one has really been able to touch them.
Coach Fox over here like, let me cook. Hold on, wait for the playoffs. No, but listen, I think what we did see, because the grand final came down to the last play of the game, right? So back in the preseason was the speedery focus. Looking at the pick bans, somewhat of what SSG was doing was reactionary, right? So they had like a rock and save, they go with the Star-Lord ban. And they kind of left one hero for each person being banned, when we've seen the only successful thing is to take out one of them completely. And I can tell you, as we give the MVP, listen, we can always give it to really most of them. I mean, Cooper being just like, call him Deadpool, Wolverine, whatever, just never dies. Energy, we know what they can do here on a consistent level. Energy's just been so fun to watch for so long. Young King continues to get it done. But yeah, if you look at them, to give Vest, Dino, and Polycap, you have to find what is that weakness of the team and target Bandit, but it's not.
We still looking at FlyQuest stats?
Gaskin. Vicky, I mean, what approach do you have if you're SSG here? What do you take it? Who do you try to identify?
I mean, the thing is it's hard when Speedery also has a flexibility to go from Ultron over to Black Cat, and then also be able to pop off where you carry that charge into the next round, right? So, like, if anything, you have to make sure that Poly doesn't get free space. You also have to coordinate better.
Why are we talking? We're still talking about the last match?
And then maybe also have the better communication on sustain here, too, because not only is Renko and Month getting picked off very easily, but it did seem like, as Gaskin had pointed out in that first round, like, a miscommunication that got a mischief just allowed TLC to kite away, and then still allowed Speedery to make that swap up to the Black Cat before the very end of that first round. That calling card ultimate into the second round too.
No, for sure. I mean, yeah, just take a
Cooper's
look at
healing's good.
You have to play perfect. You can't have these.
But can we look at the Moth and the Rinko? No wonder they were dying. Everyone was dying.
Time is like, when you are the best team in the region, you continue to play teams kind of beneath.
I'm a strong believer, chat. You keep your healers alive. The game is easy.
And whatnot in that.
I get it. You shouldn't have to. But like, if their dive is just diving and diving and diving and diving,
you know, some pressure on them,
and you don't switch to look behind you,
map, right? And then you had, other than that, swamp, and it's
don't protect.
We continue to highlight. It's both the
you're just gonna lose.
Not a weak role. We continue to say
they are your main. Without them, you don't live. They're like an MMORPG.
Not going to consider themselves.
You need a healer in your party.
In this category,
needs to be there. You need one.
Zanji trying to go for the
four-man party
there somewhat, but it feels like on the combination of these strategists never die.
You gotta be there.
Really playing a very dive. SSG is not super dive if you look at some of their plans of attack. Like, maybe that's where they try to shake things up. I mean, do we just go to museum? Is this about to be sponsored by the map again?
Quite possibly, but I'd like to think that SSG maybe will try and throw a curveball here just as a last attempt. Anything against TLC. I wonder if they should build around Nectar a little bit more, because, you know, even though Nectar is on Phoenix and is always going to have a good time, we're so neutralized because they almost built around the Black Cat instead, which doesn't allow necessarily Nectar to have as much freedom. So, I don't know, maybe you build some sort of, like, poke damage comp that you try and compete, but then you're competing against some of the best in the world at it. It does feel like wherever you go, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, you know?
It kind of felt like this team, funny enough, like if you look at patches and balance patches and how it affects teams, the Mantis hit from the 4% down on the damage kind of affected this team a lot. They would often do the Mantis into the Psylocke, and Psylocke being one of those that benefited really well off that Mantis bump up, and they don't have that option anymore, right? So taking a look at the map, what they do is just less, I guess. Take a look at the map. We're going to be going to, okay. So you said to shake it up. We've got ourselves Convergence this time around. I like it. It's something that's not just the old Museum of Contemplation. But, you know, if you look at it, Central Park does have a lot of interesting opportunities. We haven't had a lot of it here in America, but if you look at, I mean, even things like Black Hat and the portal opening up some really kind of cheeky options for point one. It's a fun one.
It is, and I was also wondering, like, maybe we would have seen Midtown, because I believe that was Space Station's pick against Equinox when they had lost out on Celestial Husk originally, but now taking a trip into a different scenery as we stroll around Central Park, Cozy, it also makes you wonder, all right, well, have they been able to figure out and deal with the dive opposition that's just been harassing that backline, right? Because then you also take a look at the pick and ban phase and what could have been baited out, too, if they wanted to try to use the rocket. Well, that's off the table here, and then they expect that from TLC, and then they get rolled out with the Ultron as well as a triple strategist. Cooper, you mentioned, is like a raid boss, right? Like, not going down a single time in that entire domination is a problem here. So you take off the gambits off the table, the protect once again on Rocket for Team Liquid Citadel to not even utilize that here, but we'll be able to probably use it on a map like this as they also take out the Luna Snow. And that's also with the Phoenix that could deal with the Sia if TLC want to roll
Somewhat
out
better.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if we get any anti-dive stuff banned out too, or the way they want to go about it. The Daredevil ban certainly says Black Cat's where they're going. In my opinion. At least that's where I think they might go. Speeder obviously shutting that down is important. I would say this is a decent Black Cat map. Obviously, just the value she brings with the relics get that much more, Gaskin, as it's gonna be White Fox protected there, and that's gonna be answering to what happened in the first map ban.
Like I said, yeah, a little bit of
We're protecting White
through,
Fox.
And then TLC will ban out Devil Dino. You know what that does mean? There could be potential Penny Parker shenanigans as well. You never know on this map. Penny can certainly do some damage on that.
Really just want
side.
it as a healer main, just to come in there and be like,
maybe we would
what
have
are we
seen
guys doing?
Sentinels do it if they were in
See, other banning Luna Snow, that's a good ban.
SSG, so we'll see what they go with. As for TLC, their protect situation here, I mean, there's a few.
We protect White Fox.
They're doing that on the same
White
side.
Fox makes sense because I was thinking about Galactic Legend being so.
She's not.
Ultimate as well, but in the end, they don't even.
It's
need
all right.
Oh, there we go.
Worse.
I was gonna say if it wasn't White Fox, it was gonna be Star-Lord there as the last ban, most likely, just to shut down that, and especially with that rocket save, something you just have to do because it just makes you. We just talked about it. You have to play perfect, and those small mistakes can happen that much more when Star-Lord is there with the rocket, especially with that team up that is continually just slept on. That thing is disgusting. That teleport. Oftentimes, but we find ourselves in Central Park, y'all. Definitely gonna be a fun one. Y'all bringing in a cast that should absolutely paint some cinema, or it's gonna be a quick way to end the evening. Either way,
Quick way to end the evening.
Right
Let's
now.
do it. Let's
Station
get
Gaming.
into some girls.
Will we get an upset? Maybe. We'll find out now. Vic,
The ranks.
Or will it be a speed run? That's up to
The
TLC
Diamond
to
One
decide. Space Station hold their
GM
ground
lobbies.
Because Gaskin right now, I see
You better
those
be
White Fox
ready,
protects only can mean
'cause here in
one thing
about
in my
30
head, and it's probably
minutes,
gonna see
I'm
a lot
coming
of
into
Black
there.
Cat. You want to be able to help off
And
the
I'm
opposition
gonna
of
cause
this
some
Black Cat being able to get any
mayhem.
sort of value off of this backline. But guess what? You also allow Cooper to get Loki on a map like, on a map like this on
You
Central
might be a
Park.
good
You have a lot more of that
DPS,
verticality,
my
especially on this
tanks
first
are
point to get
bad.
cheeky with those clones.
But I can keep them
There's
alive.
your Penny Parker, everyone. Call me crazy, but there she is.
Call me
And it's a perfect map
crazy.
for it. We've seen how detrimental Penny Parker can be to go up against on this map. If you can protect that spider nest, it feels like it's impossible to take this first point. But if anyone can break, it's probably going to be TLC. I think you're going to learn a lot of how to destroy spider nest in this game. So we'll have to see how TLC try and approach this one.
Being on the defense makes a lot more sense here if Milk Boy wants to try to rely on this. You get a little bit of the speed boost, a bit of that armor too, and rolling out of the gates is going to be Cooper on that rocket. So combine that together with Speedery already being on the Black Cat as well as Energy being on the Bucky. Pauly is prowling about. The cap may not be banned, but he's got another threat in his pocket as he's already trying to dive onto Renko.
If you shall, do you get rid of the nest is going to be the real question. Is Speedery is also going to have that target as well. And look at how TLC are working together just to try and collapse around SSG at the moment
look,
and
Black
trying to see if they
Cat.
can isolate anyone.
Nice.
Can you actually get the pick though? Nearer
Black
the
Cat's
takedown
gameplay
mark,
is
and
so
suddenly SSG have
satisfying
lost
to
both
watch.
of their backline.
And
Like,
a
doesn't
good
matter that she
retaliation right there,
dies.
too. You saw him immediately look at Speedery, but guess what? Everybody left from
Does
Space Station
not
got
matter she
deleted
dies.
the moment that
She
that
got
happened for
two,
Speedery. The rest
three
of
of
TLC
them.
get to walk up for free,
2
take
kills,
up this real estate,
1
blocking
assist.
the portal play now from Monthus. He was the
3
first to go
KP,
down.
baby.
They come in to recontest.
Yep, they get the portal. Or does anyone go through it? Is anyone brave enough? Yes, okay, finally they do jump through and they can take the fight. But
They
best
were
one
on
of
it
the crew
way back
is just
before
gonna be
you
able to
even
create
said
so
a
much
thing.
space for the team and also gets the KO onto 1 as TLC look to try and lock down this first point somewhat comfortably, even going into that penny.
No
Of
one
course,
is
the
destroying
switch off
this
from
Black
Milkboy
Cat.
now
Who's
moves over to Jeff, but won't matter. First point is gathered and they will gain control of the combo.
Sheep?
It looks so
Gonna
sad
call it
looking at
cheap.
Jeff on the floor like that, but it's not sad for Speedery, who's farming them and eating his lunch here onto finding that 1v1 versus Shanji 2. That's 2 in the pocket, and also a lot of space. Look at this, the communication from TLC as Vest moves up, puts down these brute walls, just so that way you could create a little bit of a staircase here to help mix match their positioning, but they're about to dive on the opposition with Necrise also splitting their focus on being on the low ground.
I wonder if this is going to be one of those situations where it's a good thing TLC are attacking first at the moment, because what would it have looked like on the other side of things? But SSG still have a chance to try and show us what they can do now that the convoy is moving. But the Ensong Inferno will be responded with one of their own.
Nice.
Can you actually connect? Yes, okay, Speedery deleted.
Are they?
That was 2
They're on a
ultimates
delay.
that SSG reserved just to deal with Speedery.
Might-
and
our
TLC
gameplay
have a plethora to work
is
with
faster
here, as
than
Space
their,
Station will really need
broadcasting.
to rely on Shanji to pop off. Here comes a piece of the Abyss now, missing out on its mark here. Great way on trying to hold
Why
back
is it all
Ollie,
not
who's
just
literally
on one
shot,
system?
Forced to pop the armor before backing away.
Yeah, backs away, and you have to, otherwise you're just going to
get
be
it is,
bombarded
but, like-
by TLC here. And TLC have so much to work with. Zanji going to at least try and do something on his own, and actually now the ultimate starts to come through for SSG. They pop a few of them to try and win this engagement, but
SSG's
TLC
making this an
also
interesting
have
game,
the
that's for
responses
sure.
Of their own. Ensong Inferno comes out from Energy. Speedery does take down Nectar, and that's going to be massive for their chances.
Although they finally find Cooper
Nah.
away, Bob, BRB, and that's even better for SSG because it was really only Nero who could help us sustain. They
Look
regrouped
at
together,
TLC
they shut
just
down the opposition, only losing
absolutely
on
just-
Speedery Energy, taking a good chunk of that damage, but it's fine because Cooper is
Oh,
back
Milk
to
Boy.
also put down
Oh,
his
Milk
next
Boy.
BRB, and Milk Boy just trying to get more of an extension to hold back TLC.
I do like Milkboy on the Vanpool. Certainly is a great option for SSG, and Milkboy in
Okay,
general
maybe
is a fantastic
SSG
vanguard. That
is.
being said, TLC are still being able to
Come
apply
on,
this pressure. Vest was going
TLC.
to arrive shortly on the Devil Dino to try and take control of this cart once more. So a lot of responsibility once more is going to be on Nectar building up that Ensong Inferno, but it's going to be Renko who pops the It's Jeff first.
And with the CS still being out and no Ensong Inferno to at least delete it while it's still up right now, Nectar's got it right now, holding on to it. Renko needs some help though. The It's Jeff is going to try to find some. Speedery now just taking reign. Both of the strategists off the table for Space Station. Now you have the Ensong Inferno for the reset here, and Vest is just able to take a chomp out of Necrise. TLC looking to get this checkpoint.
Yeah, Speedery's just having too much fun, really, on the Black Cat. And the ease of which they're finding the backline of SSG at the
what I'm
moment,
talking about.
again, you have to give credit
That's
to
what I'm
TLC
talking
and how
about,
they
TLC.
are
Keep
pinning them
marching.
down. And
Keep marching
approaching
down that
collapse
field.
that we see over and over again.
3
Holly
minutes
being
and
able to
40
create
seconds on
initial
the
bit of
clock.
space, Speedery then taking advantage of them being
This
distracted.
next
The
next
wombo combos
choke is a
they-
little bit hard. The staircase.
Makes you wonder
I've
if
held
banging out the
it
Daredevil was
many,
worth
many,
the
many
force to get
times,
information on the
gentlemen.
Black Cat here,
Many,
but-
many, many times.
Chanji having a little bit of a difficult time in getting set up now. They're going to be holding the choke by the staircase, and Chanji's now getting to position, marking down these strategists. It does have some up, though, from Energy, who is also right there, and Speedery basically doing the same, forcing out the lamp so gets a lot more impact.
I just don't know if I also
Should've been him.
like giving Beswa the Devil Dino so freely as well, as Nectar's able to get a big double
Black
to
Cat.
keep them
Ooh,
in this
ooh,
engagement
ooh.
at the moment, but SSG are at least able to hold somewhat. But it is a
Look
fight,
at
and
this.
Speedery
Look at it. I
hunting
mean,
down
he could
Mudboy.
just
Delete
do
Mudboy off the
that.
map so easily and
No one
quickly.
is
And actually now
caring.
just takes the fight to Necrise. Does go down. But at the moment, I just
But
think the damage may
who did
have
Milk
already been
Boy
done
ult
here for
though?
TLC.
Did he ult the
And that
Black Cat?
inform,
Is
choke
so.
slam just felt a little
troll.
personal, but that's what you have to do when the Black Cat is right in your face. And by the way, he took still so much damage right there. Very scary here, as they're still been able to build up a lot more space. Vez still. Now onto this group, just trying to create more of this walls here, as Necrise doesn't want to farm them, or rather, he does want to farm them, but now Vest doesn't want him to get that ability here and boosting up that damage. And Shanji also getting information.
I mean, the Guru was also just helping out the cause for Speedery as well, being able to isolate some of that back line as Zanji goes in onto the Black Cat, but you will see now the invisible boundaries just get set down to protect everyone, knowing that the Black Cat was going to come in. Ensong Inferno gets combined with it, TLC throwing all of the pieces of the puzzle towards SSG, and they do convert.
Let's go TLC. Yes.
Oh my goodness, Renko
Ooh,
getting
nice.
too by Speedery, trying to fly up above. Nectar finds a pick up onto Energy, but needs some help. The backline cannot stay alive. Forces the forward play, but it's too late.
Let's go
By the
TLC.
pixel.
Let's
Unfortunately, it cannot
go.
contest right back
With
up to the point,
almost
and
2
TLC
minutes
gets
on
this
the
payload to
clock
finish line.
still. Let's go,
Just a bit of a
TLC.
gap
Let's
between the two
go.
teams. I
That's
think
what we
that
like to
is
see.
Evident. I think that's to be
Big,
expected, and
big
that's no
chat,
disrespect
big.
to SSG. I think they knew what they would be coming up against here
Big.
with Team Liquid Citadel. They are the best in the region, and Team Liquid Citadel are now going to give us an opportunity to really look at their defensive side and how impressively you can hold this first point. I mean, I'm sure that everyone's been on the receiving end of it in your ranked games when you try and take this first point and you just can't get in. And maybe we'll be able to see the penny in action on the other side here for TLC.
I mean, Speedery has 10 finals, right? Like, Shanji has 2, and that goes hand in hand with Pauly Survivability, who has been side questing, harassing that backline. You force out the utility. If you force out the lamps, that's a big cooldown then to enable Speedery to clean up the rest. There's only so much you can do to cycle through and keeping these strategists alive, but that's just something to consider. While Nectar has been holding it down here and trying to contest that of Energy, by the time Nectar picks off 1 or 2, looks behind them, and then nobody is there to help follow up. So now as we swap up sides here, Gaskin, this is up to SSG to turn things around. It's incredibly difficult as Vez is now over onto the Dyna.
All right, TLC. Hold door. Hold door. Hold the door.
Tried and
Hold the
tested
door.
Elsa. It just reminds me of preseason when we were seeing Energy dominating on the Elsa. So I'm quite excited for this one. You put the Glartrox alongside everything that they've already got. This is going to be a very difficult break for SSG. This is going to be a huge test for them.
This
first
first
up as well on this white
little
box,
clinch
getting a lot more of these follow-ups too
can
to
either
help
be a
sustain Speedery. Pauly, by the
deadly
way,
time
I'm so happy. Can we
or a
talk
great
about
time.
the influx of penny play that we've been seeing a lot more often, especially when it comes to the defensive side of maps like this? Pauly setting up these mines already, just trying to continuously harass that front line. Nectar is trying to do everything to get a choke slam and opening for SSG. Gets stunned, and Month and Renko, they get farmed by the hands of Energy and Speedery.
Energy is so good to watch on Elsa. It is such a beautiful thing to witness on your screens as now they force
Chat,
SSG
sit back,
all
you're
the way to
watching
spawn, look at
cinema.
this aggression, and now once they get the reason
back.
that, okay, we need to be
Put
moving
your arms
back,
behind your
they
head
do
and just
fall.
walk.
That all happens and everyone falls in line as you should. And I think it is interesting, the influx of Penny. I mean, it makes sense with a map like this for sure. But typically pro play, you find a way to take out those spider nests because they're usually in obvious positions. But in this map in particular, it's very difficult to even get a sight line on it, let alone get in to get behind enemy lines. TLC did it so quickly and so effectively, but SSG struggling a little bit. Finally, Milkboy is able to work with a couple of players here to try and get behind the enemy and delete, perhaps delete that spider nest.
This is like my nightmare rotation on dealing with something like this that TLC is throwing out to SSG. Ensong Inferno now activated. Gonna be slamming down to delete the nest and delete
That would've
Energy.
been better
Big
if it was a
pickoff
double,
as that
but it's
Glartrox
okay.
was in their pocket. No rockets, so
I'll
no
give it to
BRB to bring them
Nectar. He's
back. Nero,
trying.
though, answering back to find Milkboy, getting the charm and following
Nectar's
up onto
really
the Venom.
trying.
Looking at Shanji, though, being on the Bucky, trying to get a cheeky off angle right now, too, and to delete these nests. We talked about it in our last series, too.
In their
How great
ult.
it would have been to have seen the Bucky actually try to deal with
I don't-
this,
I
and
don't
Shanji's
know.
just trying to create an opening, but Nero
TLC just has a better, like,
It's just how
will, I
well
guess.
TLC are protecting the nest. You saw Speedery jump
They're
up
ready
and
to risk
instantly
everything for
get
this
in the face
fucking
of
game.
SSG as
Oh
they were
my.
trying to delete the nest as well. The game plan is there,
Like
and it is
sheep,
working for
I mean, you just look
TLC,
at
and their
him.
communication is on point.
The dude
as
is
soon as a duelist
probably
gets in a
leaned
position
into his
to try and
chair.
take down that nest, they are being pressured,
Like
they are
this.
being punished. And SSG have got 1
And
minute
talking
and 40
real
seconds on the
deep and
clock to try and
soft,
break
or he's
through here.
screaming.
Otherwise, we're
He
finishing
could
at
be
3-0.
screaming. I could
Thinking
see
about
Soup
night rotation, I'll be
screaming
honest
going
here,
from
Gaskin, I would never let Black Cat Dino
Attacking,
get fight
attacking,
like
attacking,
this.
I'm attacking,
This is
I'm
so
attacking, I'm
crazy.
attacking,
Look
I'm
at the
attacking,
ult
I'm
economy
attacking.
that they're working with.
I can see
Renko
it.
and Muth have been just really trying to stay alive. It's even harder for Invis with that AoE that you have to worry about.
Oh.
The kidnap!
Push, 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 push.
Into
But
the
that was a good
penny
dino
mines.
kidnap.
No,
God
and then
dang,
Energy is
fellas.
Just a nail in the coffin.
Oh,
You literally
dang,
look like a
fellas.
chameleon looking in one angle and the
Dang.
other at the same time trying to help out Milkboy. So hard.
We got
for
our
Bruce to
seals.
make that opening. Now you have the invisible boundary to deal with out of the calling card now, trying to be met from Speedery Cooper to help enable this too. From the other
Nice.
side, you get the stun though. The coming clutch, but right when you see it happen, they shut him down, but they still lost out on 2.
TLC just have so much answers. They were just waiting for SSG to do something. They had 4 or 5 ults available to them.
Build one.
Finally, Cooper and Polly have gone down. Maybe this is the opening SSG needed. There could potentially be a portal coming through from Speedery to keep this one contested on the point, and it looks like that is going to happen. But SSG, it took them so long to be able to break this one that TLC are in such a comfortable position still, and now they have one chance at fighting again.
They deleted that Glartrox. Now you have the Strangling Prison, the Wombo Combo, Armed and Dangerous, and Armed and... Not Armed, actually. Back to the spawn room gates. And Energy having a different plan, acting like the bouncer, taking them out of the club here as Nectar finds 2, but it's all for naught because TLC have rejoined on the point, less than 13 seconds on the clock.
You have to give respect for Nectar with the attempt at trying to keep this game alive. Insane damage that's coming out of them, but it's one last push. It's one last
I love how I said the same thing, chat.
Desperate plays to make them happen now as Vez finds Renko. They're falling like flies, but huge damage coming in as Shanji makes a desperate swap over to the Wolverine to match out of Energy. Vez still finding 1 by 1, 2 members off the table for Space Station. Muth is coming back around, so close to that invisible boundary to keep this fight going.
Speedery did go down, but is going to have the chance to try and regain and get back on this point, but I don't even think it's going to matter because they are forced off of it, and it is a TLC masterclass once more as they continue to be undefeated here in this group in Americas.
Didn't even let them get an ounce beyond, like, what, 53% and climbing right there for that point, while TLC, they took it to the finish line, and they wrap up
like
our
to
final
see,
series
gentlemen.
of
That's
the
what
day.
we
You know,
like
TLC
to
still continue to
see.
prove why they are the best within
That's
the region. As we bring back Cozy to a rather quick series that we were seeing.
Yeah, it was the speed run we ended up getting.
That's pretty good, TLC. What a match!
The way it was looking, to be honest. I mean, this team, front to back, it turns out the best team in America, in fact, is the best team in America right now. I mean, what else can we say? It's David versus Goliath if David didn't have a slingshot. It was a tough matchup, but either way, SSG, good news for them is they can look towards what is going to be win and get in situation for them. And TLC just, you know, continuing to look the part, right? It's easy to say that you're on top, but to continue to have that same drive, dedication, and show out they continue to have is what impresses me. And there's just so much we can highlight. I mean, just to the macro plays or micro plays.
Hold on, boys. I gotta clip
like,
that. That's a good one. That's got to be released right now.
Wolverine, like everything's just functioning like a machine over there, Gaskin. It's impressive.
It's more than impressive. Like, we have to just look at a generational run from this team now, and when we are 4 or 5 years deep into Marvel Rivals, we look back at the history, everyone is going to remember this team that's into their roster. Maybe they will still be at the top at that point, but it has just been a true blessing to see how good they've got from week in, week out. They don't seem to take their foot off the gas whatsoever. Space Station sadly just couldn't find that answer to take them down, but that shouldn't be any discredit to Space Station because no one has really been able to find that answer apart from Swamp Gaming in the finals of preseason where they were very
That's pretty
close
good
to,
on
of
its
course, doing
own,
so.
I'm not gonna
And then
lie.
we saw TLC improve their roster even more, so it just gets harder for everyone else in this region.
Well, listen, I saw the memes, right? You saw them too when we saw this team first announced, and then continuing on, it's like they just had stacked across the board, and then Vest being the addition as well. And that's to say, you know, Spark Chief, really great player. So, like, they have quite literally everything, you know, that you would want as we do crown the MVP again. Give it to any of them over there on TLC. And, of course, here in just a bit, we'll be able to talk to the coach. Has plenty to say and excited for that. Nero, okay, we got the Rogue Strategist MVP going out. Love to see it from the White Fox and just continues to dominate at that front. I mean, it's like they banned the Daredevil. Vicky still leaving open something like the Black Cat, and there's been debate, right? Who's the best Black Cat here or there? I think Black Cat, you can look like you're doing pretty crazy things just to sweep up the, you know, the limbs, but Speedery's diff.
And can you imagine like how everybody was literally zooming because then you have the team up together with between Speedery and Nero, then you get the extra healing, you get everybody with the speed boost, then you have the Penny Nest on top of that to give extra armor. Like the sustain also forces out Poke at that point, and this also means that with Polly playing their own game and Nero enabling it all, that the penny stocks are up currently.
Yeah,
sorry.
The day I thought I would see Paulie of all people be playing, you know,
Made a clippable moment, and I had to just real quick
Dino
clip it and share it.
Something crazy. I saw Milk Boy vanish with
especially like after
I saw 40 mines pop out there, Gas, can you just blow the tree to to the spawn?
I mean,
especially
it's
after
funny,
like the dub.
It's a bit of a meme, but at the same time, it
Something-
works.
it's something
I think
you
people are
just
starting
wanna
to realize
clip.
how impressive
No, not me. No,
Penny
no,
can
no,
be
no,
on one
no.
of these maps. It doesn't matter if you're in your gold ranked games or if you're in pro play. Just a very powerful hero right here, right now, and you put it into the hands of someone like Polly as well, it becomes even more scary. And SSG, they tried to take down the Nest, but we have to give respect to Speedery, right? There were some insane plays that Speedy was doing to defend the Nest.
Really?
At one point, put his body on the line. I think he literally took a Phoenix ult, right? He took an Ensong Inferno and said, I'm going to eat it so the Nest stays alive. There was a clear game plan from TLC. It was fun to watch.
I gotta say, right now I'm actually working on a graphic
is-
I'm gonna
what-
post. It's been fun to
what is it
look at
doing?
team ups that have been retired. And I've got one looking at the double nest. Can you imagine with how Rocket's doing right now to have that?
Saving
It's
Shinnet.
already an entertaining night. Let me just say this, all right? I'm
Her
gonna put
laugh
bit
is
of
a little
America
funny.
bias
I know that's a little
here.
rude. I don't
We've
mean
been
for it to
needing
be
a
rude, but it's a little
forming
cute.
a
It's a
team
little
to take
funny.
down the MEA over here in the land. They've won the last two, and this is
It's like
one- this
almost
could
like
be
a
the chosen
goofy
one,
laugh.
if you will, Vicky. Has
Just-
me definitely
it's just
excited. But we
fine.
do have our
I'm
interview ready to go. It is Gator, the coach, a man that has
Just
been part of a
fine,
lot
you
of
know,
winning
nothing-
teams here
nothing
in
wrong with
America.
that. It's your
and is
laugh.
now in charge
Dude,
of
this
the
guy wasn't even ready.
team right
Gator
now.
wasn't
What's
even
up,
ready.
Gator? Good to have
He
you
just
here,
grabbed
buddy.
and got himself a thing of water, and he's watching watching it on the big screen to see when his cue
We've
is.
heard whispers and echoes of. Let's just
Hey
call
man,
it
I
this,
respect
man.
it.
Let's
I
talk about
respect
scrims and
the
how they've
hustle
kind
for
of
him.
Added for your team, whether it's prepping or just in general for the rivals scene.
Yeah, so scrims have
Do
been
that,
going well
and
for us.
then
We
I'm
don't-
almost done. Chat. Hold
we
on.
rarely ever like lose scrims or really maps in
Let's
general.
go here.
I think our main problem lately has just been teams leaking. So teams
Okay.
like 100 Thieves, for instance, they like kind of every time you scrim them, pretty
Okay.
much every single thing you do gets just
We're
leaked.
back. Full
So
concentration.
everyone's kind of blacklisting them right now.
Save.
So besides them, I think everybody else has been pretty pleasant to like scrim
Okay.
with and
Here we go.
professional.
We're back.
Yeah, I think overall, like I've been quite happy with scrims.
Awesome. Hey, it's great to see you, Vicky.
Yeah, Gator, it's so nice to talk to you again. You guys were just trying to break a record for another speed run. Can you talk to us a little bit about how entertaining
She's
it's been to
nervous.
see,
She's
like,
grabbing her
Polly flexing
necklace.
over to the Penny and the influx of Penny depending on the map picks that we're seeing.
Chat, that's how you can tell a girl is nervous.
They
start grabbing things.
now from other teams trying to run
They're
with a
nervous.
different composition.
Or they're excited to talk
so,
to
like,
you.
I think everyone's been playing
It's either one or two
lately
things.
because Sen are kind of like the cheese masters, so they've
Or the
kinda,
third
like,
option. You
figured
really
out
don't want the
it's
third
good.
option.
In, like, a
You're
good way. It's,
creeping
like, a
them the
good thing to
fuck
do that.
out and leave them alone.
So like I think they were like the first to play it, and then everyone else kind of started following suit. And I think we were one of the last ones to adopt it. And if I remember right, I think legit just told Polly to go play ranked for 8 hours a day, just playing that hero and just one tricking it. And he's pretty quick to learn new heroes. So like we've adapted pretty quickly. And we kind of hide strats a lot in scrims. So we like if we're scrimming somebody like 100 Thieves, we'll know that everything is gonna get leaked. So we'll just kind of like we'll throw just like bait shit at the wall so they can just leak it to everyone else. So that's kind of what we do a lot. So yeah.
I mean, the big
One of
brain
them is
players
hard
and
echoing.
they've worked out.
Could
You
be
guys
him
look
echoing.
untouchable, to
Is
be
it me
honest. It
echoing?
has been quite something watching
No?
how impressive you have been, but moving
I
into
ain't got
playoffs,
nothing to
it'll be a potential change of meta with a new hero being added of Cyclops. Do you think is that like frustrating for you? Are you excited for that as a team? Like, do you think you benefit from meta changes and where people can't study you anymore? What's your
No, I think we benefit a lot from new heroes. Our players are honestly probably just best in slot. It's like probably the best roster, I would say. So I think we pick up new heroes fast. We have a lot of good teamwork. It is nice when we can like evolve quickly and make like new strats, and then people like 100 Thieves can't leak it. So
Dude, this guy
like,
does
going
not like
forward,
100 Thieves.
like,
This guy
I'm quite happy,
has
like being on like a new
a
patch,
vendetta.
So it'll be nice actually.
Like he is.
I'm trying to like digitally enhance like the left side of your monitor to look for like iRemix or something in there. I'm like trying to look like the DM just coming in hot right now. Listen, hey, let me lead with this. Obviously, you guys had the last match against Stick Drift, and I think they've kind of been. I would ask you actually, have they been impressive? I mean, would you have expected them to be essentially a first seed depending matchup? Over here on this side, it's been impressive to watch what this team's been able to do.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I think this is still like a new esport. I think there isn't a lot of good teams, but there's a lot of good players, and I think a lot of teams have 1, 2, or 3 really good players. So kind of each tournament cycle, you'll see probably new up and coming players that are going to be like the next wave of the best players in each region. So I'm not really surprised when I see new teams kind of come out of nowhere, new players or new anything. I think it's not like I wouldn't say it's surprising. It's just the only thing that's surprising is when people leak scrims like Hunter Thieves.
Dude,
well,
this
hey, man,
guy
appreciate you so much for coming on. Always making it
hates
entertaining.
100
say what's up to
Thieves.
100 Thieves for you as well. We appreciate you, TLC, and
Dude,
also,
we'll
can
be
we,
watching you guys tomorrow. You guys are on back to back.
Yes, and buy the bundle.
Yes.
Buy the bundle. Because I'm gonna get shot
There
if
it
I don't
is.
say that. Thank
Buy
you.
the
Yeah.
Buy the bundle. Don't get your shot. All right. Thank you so much for coming on, my friend, as we close up this very entertaining interview, as always, with Gator. And listen, hey, this is what it's all about, right? But we, we had definitely a day that we said we would expect a lot of things to happen the way it did.
Do they get anything from the bundle?
Kind of stood out to
I don't
you
think
that
so.
maybe
So why
didn't
did
go what you thought?
Why would he need to shout out the bundle?
I think that NRG gave it a better go at Swamp Gaming than I thought
it don't
would
make
happen.
no
I
sense,
thought that was going to
chat.
be a more one-sided affair, which
Make
does
it make sense.
interest me as to how the rest of these days are going to go with NRG and their chances of still getting out right, because there is still a possibility for them. They are very much still alive, even if it is a last-ditch attempt at trying to beat Sen. Don't count NRG out just yet, and certainly these next 2 days are going to provide even more entertainment, and yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, I tell you what, I mean, listen, if you just look over at Group E in general, it's just set to make, I mean, let's take a look at the standings, because it is set to make a crazy, chaotic next couple of days. Remember, this is to get into the playoffs, the top 4, move forward, and we find ourselves in a position where even, like, Nightmare can get into that.
Yeah, I knew that was FlyQuest.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy where things are looking. I guess, you have Energy Shock and Sentinels, though, being such an important matchup, as we have that as the last one of day 3 at that, Vicky. These groups are tight.
EG.
Yeah, especially when FlyQuest stocks are currently up right now and their next opponents are Nightmare. Like, that is actually, that whole middle of the pack for Group E is going to be insane.
Let's freak. It's okay. Freak, it's not okay. No, it's fine. Just go here. Okay. Put that on while that loads up. Alright, the watch party is over. Let's... I gotta come here and do the same thing. Oh god. Why, dude, this song is so good for it being just a free music. Oh snap. Oh no, I forgot to transition. Uh-oh, chat. That's a streamer. That's a rookie streamer moment. That's a fail on my part. That's fine. Live and let die. I really wish I could play my music. I got a mix of everything, and I feel like a good bang. I feel like a good bop. There's nothing on there that can DOS me, right? No. Just that I watch Burnt Peanut. Linkin Park. I listen to Linkin Park. Maybe they saw Trick. Decline. Oh no, that's not the. I'm gonna go here. There we go. Now let's get into the game. Why is my... Oh yeah, I gotta change it. Maybe. Hello, Marvel? Marvel, we're live. Can you... What? Oh, I see. I thought... Send it... Oh, okay. There we go. There's the bundle that he was talking about, like telling people to buy. I don't get it. I don't know why he needs people to buy it. I don't think he's... Didn't report this guy. Don't know who this is. Is someone playing on my account? I don't think so, but... Oh, it looks like me. It's definitely me. Weird. Let me check Battle Pass real quick. I haven't all week. I'm only at 1,000 and I play a lot of games. Holy smokes. What's going on? Well, they doing another Chrono Rush this weekend? Nice. Pog. Alright, that's all that needs to be caught up. Let's hit the competitive. Chat, we win this next game. We are in GM. Lock the heck in. Lock in. Hear me, chat? Lock in. This next game guarantees. I got one shot. You only got one shot. Let's get it. It's like Peanut, dude. That's fucking crazy how he does that every time. His voice, no wonder it's slowly dying. Like, if you listen to old Peanut, dude, his voice isn't clean and not raspy and like a normal. I get a little bit as a character, but dude, some of it is not, and it's just been him because he screams and shit all the time. He's trained his vocal cords to the point where he can scream like that, and it won't stress out that bad. Sorry, hold on, chat. Am I recording? No, I got space. Let's stop recording and hit. I think I just looked at that. Cause especially now that we're starting to play starting to get into the game. Definitely want to lock in and. Walk in and get it.
Which hero do you think you want to be today?
It's crazy. It just stopped recording. I mean, it's only like an... I guess it's only an app. But that was the last match. Hopefully the VOD saves. Let's turn...
Vanish from this match.
Music off. Kill that window. Come here. Okay. We got 2-2. Looks like I am tanking. I am fine with... Oh no, that's banning. We're going to play Emma Frost, chat. We're going to lock in here. We're going to play Emma Frost. We're going to kick them in the walls. We're going to grab either a healer or a tank to hopefully chunk them and kill them. And we absolutely just dominate. Why are my frames killing each other? killing themselves. What is going on? No. Watch. 20 bucks, chat. There's an NVIDIA update drivers. No? Oh, did, one more thing to check before I say it's diffed. Okay, settings. Could just because I'm in here. Hopefully. Chat, how are we feeling tonight? I hope everyone's having a great night. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing good.
The higher the pressure, the more dazzling the diamond.
Don't worry, y'all. I'll lock into ammo. Sheesh. My Streamlabs a little glitchy too. I don't know why. I don't like it.
Round one.
I proudly wear the X, even when it clashes with my ensemble.
No, nothing. I'd actually do it. The only thing different would be.
Wow, Emma, you look like $1 million.
Only $1 million.
I guess the video looks fine. It might just be the bars. Okay, that's fine. We're fine, chat. Let's get it. Here we go. Lock in.
We've been trying to tell you that for years, darling.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, Cyclops, chill. Yo, chill. Ayo, chill.
Capture the mission area. Got it?
Who's ready for Strategist Cyclops? I'm ready. I'm from Israel. What? What does that mean? Is someone on our back line? Am I seeing that right? Yeah, no one's on our back line now. Why is my frames doing this on my rank up? We're gonna have to restart the game, that's for sure. Should be happening.
Magic in the back.
Dang. What is going on, Frames? Frames, can you lock in, please? We're on. It's prime time.
This queen's reign isn't over.
Alright, we going with Gambito here. Nobody's got nothing to combo with. Go for the healers. Go straight for the support.
I like how we said go for the healers, and well, I guess I saw two of them chase, but we shouldn't have chased the White Fox around. That was kind of cringe.
I am ready to put on a show.
Told you, Matt. Told you, chat. This map is either. It's either. I don't know who that is. Kicked him into the Cyclops ult. Does anybody see that? Anybody see that? I saw that shit. Where is my team? Thank you.
Good stuff, Psylocke. Good stuff.
Yeah, that was good. Did you see me kick that straight into your ult? Nope. No way, dude. That's so tilting. How? What? What is my frames doing?
I'm back. And now there's
We gotta press W, get in front of Gambit. We're gonna ult.
One of them's dead, two of them's dead. Nice. Nice.
That was nice and sweaty. I like it.
Nice and sweaty. That was great. That was nerve-wracking. Whoa, why does she have 10 H? Why does she have 1,000 HP? Who buffs her to have 1,000 HP? Like obviously not 1,000 HP, but she gained way more HP than normal. And my ult is absolutely useless. Huh, what a rank up game, what a rank up game. I don't know where she is. It's only me. Every time it's only me, and I even had my shield up. I don't get it. Like I get my frames are trash. But I could still see things are going on. Dude, I don't understand what's going on. I had 300. I'm gonna have to restart after this match. Chat, remind me so I don't immediately just hit Q, win or lose, because I bet you if we lose, I just hit one more round immediately. Wait, we're C9ing? I missed that. Yikes. Nice. Nice. Even with the trash FPS, even with the trash FPS, I'm still. They can't kill me. They can't kill me, chat.
we must protect it on its journey.
Days like this, I kind of wish I never made it out of Weapon X alive. That would have been nice.
Cat diff, fox diff, strange diff. Why are we talking shit? Emma diff. Okay, yeah. I agree with the shit talk.
By the eye of Agamotto!
I am ready to put on a show!
Nice. It doesn't matter, chat. I could be playing on 300 frames. I could be playing on 60. I could be playing on 30. I can't be stopped.
Including which side you're on. The right heroes could make all the difference.
The higher the pressure, the more dazzling the diamond.
This is not normal. This number right here, 120, what are we doing? It's like every time I launch Marvel once. It's all good. Keep it rolling.
I proudly wear the X, even when it clashes with my ensemble.
Jeez. Jeez, Deadpool, jeez.
Milk, eggs.
They'll be coming in 30 seconds. Stay strong. I got you.
Tell me more, Cher. Please, call me Remy.
Tiger Division has been planning a massive sting operation on the Thieves Guild, and you're our key person of interest.
On second thought, call me Logan.
The battle starts in 5, 4,
I can't be stopped.
1. You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
What are we doing?
Okay, we got enough for Iron Man, so let's get ready to remedy that.
Dude, you can hear his like whole dogs moving around the bowl and everything. Yeah, I understand. What's up? Who wants the box? Who wants the door? Put him up! Put him up! Their beam's hard on this.
Back line, back line.
I'm going back there. Emma's half. Emma's almost 3/4. Target, target. If I live for one more second, dude, we got it.
I'm back, and now there's hellfire to pay.
Nope. Nice team. Push them out of there. Oh shit, where are these guys coming from? What's going on over here? Where did they all funnel out of? Did you see that? They all just came out like a clown of car of clowns.
I'm
Why is that so hard to say?
Hey, I need Emma. I need you to stay on this black cat.
Better stop that vehicle.
Maximum pulse.
I almost had the reaction time. Golly. He always has that ult.
I'm back. And now there's hellfire to
This would probably be a different story if I had my frames for my fucking window, my display. Please, guys, someone needs to switch for the Iron Man.
Frost never surrenders.
My
I mean, we have Spider-Man. Spider-Man counters Iron Man. I thought that's why he swapped. I mean, I'm having more problem with the black cat.
I just come out and I just get zapped.
He stopped them in their tracks.
That's all good.
You're a tank. I don't know why you're crying.
I mean, I'm not.
It's a skill issue. It's a skill issue.
Okay.
Focus Iron Man. He's up there just for free. Help me with the cat in the back turnaround.
Like, what are we talking about? Like, it's just all we need is one of them just to go Namor. I get the Spider-Man, but like. I'm on the Black Cat, but I'm not getting anything.
They hit a checkpoint. Now might be a good time to stop them.
Never surrenders.
My
Yeah, I mean, they got triple support. Maybe Spider-Man's not the play. I mean, I don't know if you're helping with Iron Man, but I don't know. They got triple support. I don't know if their value's getting it. Punisher or a hit scan.
So then he agrees with me. So then. Oh my. Oh, but our Black Cat's stalling.
I'm back. And now
I mean, Hulk, this cat is just in your face doing whatever she wants, bro. You got no peel action. Like, can you swap?
Just gonna run. I'm just gonna turn around. Nice. Let's go, chat. I don't need my maximum frames. I don't need them.
3, 2, 2. Another epic victory.
Their rocket was glazing Iron Man each time I tried killing. And then you switch to the Bucky, and then look, we started to... Let's go, chat. That's what we like to see. Okay. Remember, don't go just immediately out. Okay, let me exit the desktop. I don't need this. Can I... Is there a way to uninstall this real quick? Should... Whatever, I'll deal with that later. Alright, let's see... Young girl chasing waterfalls. Come on, Marvel, please don't be a little poopy head. Why is the game so quiet? Oh, I guess I do have like main menu mute this shit all the way down. Is this okay? Streamlabs is still a little glitchy too.
I've done unspeakable things. I hope it's not too late to set them right.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Give me 2 seconds here. Let me freak. I don't want to. Is it working? No, it's like a little glitchy still. Okay, hold on. Freak. Let me see one thing. Let me see if it just works a little bit better if I have... Okay, that literally did nothing. I know this is a big game. This will free up at least. Now that delete that. I don't have that many games. Like, what the freak is God giving all my space? Sorry, chat. Give me 1 second here. I'm trying. I'm trying. This NVIDIA is good. Let me check. Okay, we're in the green. Is it still? It's a little bit better. Let's try to run the game now. See if it works a little bit better. If not, we'll restart PC again like we did yesterday and immediately started working better. Please, rival gods. Please. I think I gotta restart PC here, chat. For whatever reason.
Time to see if your more gambit can steal us a win.